Swear to God, can I not do this? Can I not do this react? Can I, like, literally not do this react? Wow. Cursed content. It was fine until I started talking about it. So, like, some people have heard this before, you know, right? There's a lot of, you know, anime that have been objected to, that, you know, maybe it's just like, oh, come on, don't be such a, you know, don't get your panties in a bunch. I swear to God, I don't have my panties in a bunch. I have taken them off, and they are now a gun, and I'm hunting ghosts with that gun, okay? That's what we're dealing with. Let me just make sure that YouTube didn't, like, reset as well. Because that's like literally the worst, is when YouTube decides to reset after like just being down for like a fraction of a second. Yeah, it did. Mother. Ooh, okay, private this. And then I literally have to and there's no way to like just like have it automatically. Can you just be like the automatic default thing should be however it was just set up for the last VOD. That is what it should be, right? When you come on with a VOD, like, you know, a new VOD, and you're just like, what do you want me the thumbnail to be? What do you want me the title to be? How about the last one I just did? But no, dude, YouTube cannot figure that shit out. Wild. Absolutely wild. It really does feel spooky and weird. This is just not right, though. This is not how... Yo, what if I have a ghost in my internet and I have... No, come on. No, come on. Stay with me, please. No. Oh my God. Are you getting Fs? Are you getting Fs? Are you seeing Fs? Are you having trouble with frames? Let me know what's going on, chat. I need to know. Okay, that looks stable. That looks stable. We should be good now. It was choppy, but it pulled through. Nice. We make sure that YouTube is still with us. Nope. Save. Trigger will not be... They don't like that I'm ripping on them. They don't like that I'm yikesing. If I was like, this is a great show and everybody should watch it and there's no problems with it, and if you think there's a problem with it, it's just because you're a damn SJW, then like I would be able to react to this, right? If I was like, Saber Spark is great, Trigger Studios is great, Gynex is great, none of these people have done anything wrong ever in their lives, then I would have no problem whatsoever. No, I honestly think it is my internet, and I do think there's like a ghost in my internet, a la Penny and Stalking, and that, like, what do you have to do? You have to bust the ghost. So I'm literally gonna have to disrobe here. I'm gonna have to get my panties out of a bunch, unironically, and I'm gonna have to go ghost hunting in order to get this this to work right. Can we just
Stalking could not succeed in today's current media landscape. Hell, you got people on TikTok already protesting the reboot, calling it problematic. Huh, I wonder why.
I'm single and looking for some mingling.
Suck my giant you fairy.
I would totally have his abortion.
It is so ridiculous, so overwhelming, so absolutely insane that if it was an online browser, it would be the literal opposite of this video's sponsor, Opera GX. No.
Okay, so yeah, there's some inline advertising there.
Papers, colors. You can even upload your own photos or download the GX Corner feature. It means for free today to get through the unapologetic and chaotic.
Okay, so here we go. This is what I'm talking about, right? So this is the most realistic depiction of the characters we don't have an age problem, right? The reason that it seems like there might be one is that the simplified art style makes it unclear, right? But when their characters are drawn realistically, it's
ride that is panty and stocking.
Are you on a diet? You can tell me.
Okay, so yeah, that was another episode that I had a problem with, right? It seems like a joke, and it's played off as a joke, but they really it's like it's stuff that could legitimately trigger eating disorder kind of stuff, right?
Of course not. Why would you say that? I'm naturally petite and thin. I'm the reason tweens make themselves hurl. Uh-oh. Peekaboo. I saw it. There it is. There it is again. Hello. Still there. Fatty. Badass. One more hit. Fatty. 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 Fatty.
How this show came to be, why it's so controversial, and if it would be rejected nowadays by the modern online world. One that is much more sensitive and outspoken against cynical and edgy humor. Strap in, folks. We're in for a wild ride.
I mean, look, cynical and edgy, I will take, okay? Racist tropes are a whole different matter.
Want it, pass it back!
Hey, what are you girls doing? So, what are the origins of panty and stocking? Who unleashed this chaotic anime onto the world? Well,
Yeah, that's what happens when you mistake protection for bubblegum.
would be Studio Gainax, a legendary anime studio with a massive rosters of hits like Neon Genesis Evangelion, FLCL, and Gurren Lagann. It was actually right after Gurren Lagann where the team went on a trip to unwind. While completely drunk off their asses, they came up with nearly all the ideas for panty and stocking, wanting to really cut loose and try something completely different from their previous work, both in tone and aesthetic. Panty and stocking was unlike anything the studio had ever done before. Or hey, the anime industry for that matter. While it had messed around with absurdist stories before, like an FLCL, panty and stocking would take this energy even further, and the results would be as fascinating as they were divisive. The show follows the misadventures of the Anarchy Sisters, Panty and Stocking, two angels who were kicked out of heaven due to their bad behavior, charged with earning their way back into heaven by doing good deeds and earning something called heaven coins. They battle supernatural forces and they
T-Mac, I'm not bitching about the cartoon, okay? Understand. I want to like this cartoon. I think there's a lot of good elements of it, right? But when I see like some shit that belongs in like the 1950s, right? Or not even the 1950s, like, right? You're talking about like, imagine the worst racist cartoon you've ever seen. That kind of image appears in this series in one episode, and it sucks. But yeah, like, you know, there's a different level of sensitivity to that sort of thing in Japan, and those kind of depictions are really fucking common from what I understand. Like, right, I want this cartoon to be something. This is the kind of thing that if I was to sit like, you know, somebody down and be like, we're gonna watch this whole series, all 13 episodes, right? I'm gonna show you PSG, right? They might like leave my house in the middle of me showing it to them, and they would be right? In other words, I can't, like, you know, there's stuff in here that I cannot explain away, despite the fact that I really I like these studios. I like the art style. I even like the crass humor, because a lot of it is just potty humor, which is great. I'm incredibly immature. I love potty humor. I love, you know, sexual humor, right? There's a lot that I like about this, but when you have one of the main characters like committing CSA, again, like seriously, I dare you, bring a bunch of friends over and watch this, okay? Don't do it, because you're gonna lose your friends, right? But that's what I'm saying, right? That's what I'm saying. There's a lot to like about this. You know, the series. There's you know, some amazing art in it. If you like Kill la Kill, if you like Invader Zim, if you like old school, like, you know, 90s kind of Cartoon Network art, it combines all these things, right? So I'm not just sitting here hating on it. What I'm expressing is that, God damn it, why did this have to get eaten by Yikes, right? That's how I feel. I feel like the Yikes monster came and ate something that should have been one of my favorite animes, right? That's how I feel, all right? This anime is perfect for me, and then I get to, what is it, like episode 3 or 4? And I can't explain that shit. I can't defend that shit, right? I won't. I refuse. I Rohan Kashibe that. I refuse. No one is forcing you to listen to the, and like, yeah, like
city of
this is a little bit different than criticism of it or hate on it or anything like that, right?
City, a play on the Japanese phrase meaning fallen.
Like, in other words, there's stuff in here that is so bad I literally can't show you, and I think that's why Saber Spark didn't cover it, right? Because it's bad. It's really bad. It's worse than you think.
Angels. What follows is a 12-episode fever dream of insane, stylized animation, over-the-top action, and of course, crass humor that revels in sexual innuendo and potty humor. On top of that,
See,
the show
I'm there for
parodies
that.
pop culture and
I am there for those two things. That's great. Sexual innuendo, potty humor, good stuff, right?
mirrors almost every media trope you can point a finger at. Inglorious, irreverent self-awareness that can leave a person slack-jawed. The series was created as a departure from the more serious and dramatic works that Gainax was known for, and was intended to be a humorous and irreverent take on the action genre.
It's also really experimental, right?
Despite its polarizing reception, Panty and Stalking with Garter Belt has had a lasting impact on the anime industry, and remains a unique and memorable entry in Gainax's extensive catalog of work. The series was directed by Hiroyuki Imashi, who brought his signature style to the show, blending traditional anime techniques with elements of Western animation. The series pulls from a lot of different influences, from anime, of course, to Western animation, to other Japanese properties like tokusatsu, with the Monster of the Week format with each ghost villain, and specifically the endings with the physical props of the monsters explode.
See, look at that. Look at that. When they beat the ghosts, they build a physical, real world. Oh my God, thank you, Shakespeare. And thank you, Dragon Princess. Thank you for the resubscription. Oh my God, you're so sweet. I'm so proud of you. No comment check. You are a wonderful streamer and friend. Thank you so much. Cool 4 months of NCC being right. Tokusatsu. Yeah. Like, so, you know, there's a lot that I like about this, right? I think this is this from like Super Sentai type, stuff like this, you know, exploding, villains. It's like a thing from like a, what is Sable Spark being canceled for? Not the canceling is not serious, okay? So Saber Spark did a video about a series that is came out in 2010, right? Didn't really make any waves, didn't really get watched. Nobody noticed it when it came out in 2010, right? Since then it has developed a cult following. Oh my God, Hype Train! Oh my God, Jules, thank you! Thank you. Look, you chat, you know how to make me feel better, right? I'm so embarrassed. I hate having technical difficulties. And it means a lot that you're still here, and it really like means a lot that you're willing to shower me in gift subs to Thank you. Hype Train has just started, right? We got a Hype Train. First thing off, we got a Hype Train. I did not expect that, right? After posting cringe, because that's what I feel like. I feel like I'm posting cringe. Wait, was that the name? Oh my God. Cryptid Mage, thank you for the resub. Oh my God, Hype Party indeed. Yeah, wait, should we play the Weasel song again? Do you want to hear the Weasel song? I wish I could play also the music to this, show is pretty good too, right? That's why it makes me kind of cry that it's got these elements in it, right? That I'd be embarrassed. Like, to bring people over to my house to watch this series, I would be embarrassed. Okay, we're gonna, oh my God, no! No, can the Weasel beat the frame rate issues? No! Oh my God, what is going on with these? Yeah, we're back, we're good. Weasel! Weasel, Weasel, Weasel! Weasel! What a weasel! Weasel! Weasel, Weasel! Weasel! What a Weasel! Level 3 on the hype train. Oh my god. Yeah, thank you, Jules. Thank you, Shaxpia. Thank you, Cryptid Mage. And a bunch of you just got gift subs. Thanks to Jules.
Weasel.
Meow.
Weasel. Weasel.
Oh my god. You know, this stuff is scary. Like when I get these... When I have this, like, just sporadic technical difficulties, it scares me, okay? Like, really. It, like, makes me... Like, you know, is streaming, like... viable, because I want to be able to bring you a good stream. I want to be able to build up, you know, my viewership, right? All that stuff needs to happen. It scares the crap out of me when my internet won't cooperate.
What a weasel. Weasel.
Sarah, thank you for the community sub. Colin R24, you just got a gift sub. Who else got gift subs?
What a weasel.
Let's count these out. Harley Ellis, Sprite Zero, Violet Roz, Abby, oi, you got a gift sub, and Raise 7778. Oh my god, thank you, Raven G, thank you for the follow. Look at that, there's your emotes. Weasel. What a weasel. My internet is the one being a weasel today, though. No, I think the weasels can overcome the gremlins. Oh my god, we're almost at 170, aren't we? Like I told you, okay, if we can hit 200 on the subs at any point, I'm gonna become Nanochka, okay? I'm gonna become...
Sarah, do you think that he's talking about you here?
Colonel Nanochka of the Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling from the 80s, right? And I'm gonna try to dye my hair for it too.
Giving my cat an abortion. I gotta go.
There we go. Okay, so that always happens with Logan Paul. That's just a, you know, hazard of the trade, I guess. All right, let's see. Like, so, like, what's weird about this is it feels like whenever I have this video on screen, that is when the trouble comes. So let's see if we can get through this, right? We got 18 more seconds. If you want to give any gift subs, you will increase the hype train, possibly earning more emotes for everybody and making yourself a hero at the same time. I'm going to go blonde. I actually look really good blonde. People don't realize this about me, right? But if you can see down here, I had a little bit more lightning in my hair, you know, going back a ways, right? And oh my god, there we go. Hype train completed at level 3. Total of 9 sub gifts. We got some emotes. We got some emotes. Look at that. Looking good. Okay, let's see if we can get through this reaction. Nope. That's the weasel again.
At a flat angle when defeated. It is very much so in the vein of classic Showa-era Toku shows, like Ultraman, Super Sentai, and Kamen Rider.
Showa-era Toku shows, okay.
Now, one of the most notable differences in the animation style of panty and stocking was its use of exaggerated expressions and physical comedy.
Yeah, if we get to 200, we'll do a Nanochka emote as well.
Sense of cartoon.
An NCC Nanochka.
Like the Powerpuff Girls.
And the reason I'm doing it, chat, is I know that I'm gonna get called a tanky. I know that when I put that hammer and sickle tattoo on, the debate bros are gonna call me a tanky.
The show also made use of fast-paced action sequences and creative camera angles, giving it a frenetic energy in its insanely over-the-top set-piece scene.
Oh, Samurai Jack! That is another. Do you see some Samurai Jack DNA in here?
Something that was a bit of a studio signature for Gainax by this point. Combined with the bold blends of East and Western stylization, made this show a visual spectacle.
Wait, the Showa area was from 1926 to 1989?
Unlike anything seen in traditional anime, or American animation for that matter, blending the strongest aspects of both into something fresh and unique. Now, this part caught me off guard. Hiromi Wakabayashi, who provided the initial idea for the series, said that Drawn Together was an inspiration for the show's crudeness. Quote, a few years...
Okay, so who knows Drawn Together? Now, I never watched the show. I'm familiar with kind of the look of the character design, but very little else. I can't say that I've ever sat down and watched a Drawn Together episode. Any opinions on Drawn Together?
ago, I, along with
an
other
American
Dynex
show.
staffers, at an American convention, were watching the American TV animation Drawn Together.
Yeah, correct, Raven. Yeah, same people that made Panty and Stocking made Gurren Lagann. And again, I have complicated feelings about this, right? I want this to be one of my favorite animes. There are some things that kind of get in the way of that, right? And, you know, that are, like, there's elements that I really like about it, and then there's one episode in particular that has both a bunch of fat phobia and like a really gross, like, racist caricature, right? And like I said, this is not the kind of thing that I could bring friends over and be like, let's watch Panty and Stocking, right? Because like I got no explanation that, you know, there's just some just racist shit in this show for no reason.
Together, and we couldn't believe that they were showing such explicit things on TV. I thought, why don't we do that? End quote. Hideomi also cited Powerpuff Girls and his love for American shows like Glee and Gossip Girl, which, you know, kind of makes sense. The aesthetic of Panty and Stocking is a far cry from where
I loved it as a teen, but it's wait, are you saying the Drawn Together is racist too?
Anime generally plays, especially the trends of its fellow shows in 2010. The much more stylized proportions, the large heads, geometric streamlined anatomy, and thick graphic outlines in the characters are lifted straight from early 2000s Cartoon Network shows.
So I like it's not just graphic outlines, right? It's not just like 90s. So the difference between this, I think, and 90s anime is they had thick outlines, thick lines on the 90s anime, but this has got you get perspective by the thickness of the lines, right? So when they want to make something kind of have dimensionality to it, you'll see thick lines, you know, in the parts of the drawing that are closer to you, and not so thick lines in the parts of the drawing that are further away.
Like Powerpuff Girls and Dexter's Lab. And
See, like, compare it to Powerpuff Girls. Powerpuff Girls, that's just thick lines, right? This is more than that, right? You can see it right there, right? You can see the kind of depth that gets added by the modulation of the line. Oh my god, I sound like such an art nerd, and I'm not even good at art.
And Stocking themselves are also very much so parodies of American women stereotypes in the media, which is likely where the Gossip Girl influence comes from. Also,
Drawn Together is like edgy for edge's sake.
Is apparently a huge fan of American comics.
It was racist and homophobic and misogynist. Damn.
And other American cartoons like.
Okay, so that seems like the nasty DNA that got into Panty, Stocking, and Garter Belt. But yeah, they're highly influenced. Like, right. So they talked about the animators. You know, that after one of their projects, they went and had a vacation, and they all got massively wasted, and you know, I guess watched Drawn Together, and really wanted to make something similar.
Transformers. As a matter of fact, he was the one who wrote the script for the Transformers parody episode. You know, where Panty.
Okay, see, they got a Transformers parody episode in here, right?
The robot bangs another robot.
Okay, I didn't remember there was robot
in a porta potty. The show debuted in October,
oh my god, of course,
of 2010, with mixed reviews from Japanese critics. Some of them found the humor of the show to be tasteless, and that it had essentially no plot, and was all style instead of substance. Others reveled in the series' debauchery, praising its high-energy animation and blend of action, comedy, and crass humor.
And here's what's funny, like, they talk about debauchery, they talk about, like, hypersexuality, right? It is not like a horny show, right? It's not erotic. The sexual content is like 99% humor,
which was seen as something fresh and entertaining. The soundtrack, produced by Taku Takahashi, was also well received and added to the overall.
Yeah, the soundtrack is really good. Check out the soundtrack if you get a chance.
Enjoyment of the series. It blended elements of hip hop, electronic, and rock music to create a unique and memorable musical score. In 2011, Panty and Stocking with Garter Belt was part of the jury selection.
Robot banging must be loud. Indeed. Were they at a Woodstock 99 porta potty? Possibly. What's up, young luck economist?
Of the 15th Japan Media Arts Festival in the animation category. So yeah, it was getting some accolades. But in contrast, you have
So here's what's so frustrating about it. Like, yeah, it's groundbreaking. It combines a lot of elements that have never been combined before. It's done by a really awesome studio. There's parts where the plot drags. There's parts that are overly experimental. But all in all, it can be a lot of fun. Certain episodes are a lot of fun. And then there's the episode that I was mentioning before, which, you know, far from being a lot of fun, is like a trigger for eating disorders. And I gotta say it, extremely racist, right?
The US. where the reception of the show was mixed to say the least. There were some viewers who appreciated its irreverent humor and distinctive animation style, while there were others who were put off by its crass and absurdist approach. Some Western audiences found the humor to be too juvenile or offensive, while others praised the
It is very
show
juvenile.
for its bold and unapologetic approach. Sites like Polygon praised the show, awarding it as one of the best anime of the 2010s, while other publications, such as Anime News Network, found the show to be unremittingly revolting and generally not funny, and accused the series of having a style over substance approach and generally flawed, tasteless, and needlessly disturbing comedy. Jeez, rough crowd. Despite this mixed reception, Panty and Stocking with Garter Belt resonated well with audiences, though, and the series has gained a dedicated cult following in the US and has been recognized for its place as a unique and memorable entry in the world of anime. The transformation scene and the music with it, Fly Away, has since achieved meme status and was used in a bunch of parodies online. Fly away! I can't sing it. The cult following for Panty and Stocking with Garter Belt in the US grew over time through a combination of word of mouth.
It's sort of copying the super flat, super blocky UPA animation style, which Cartoon Network shows in the 90s and 2000 copied too. Oh wait, so this is Cartoon Network. I called it the Cartoon Network style, but Torokun in YouTube chat is telling me that it's actually copied from UPA.
Recommendations and the increasing accessibility of anime through streaming platforms. As more people were exposed to the series and its distinctive blend of humor and animation, a small but dedicated group of fans began to emerge. These fans appreciated the show's off-the-wall humor and irreverent take on the action genre, and sought out others who shared their enthusiasm. The growth of the series' following was also fueled by its popularity among the otaku community, who appreciated its nod to Japanese pop culture and references to other anime and manga. Online forums, fan communities, and social media allowed fans to connect and share their love for the series, helping to grow its following even further. Oh, by the way, some of y'all might notice this dog named Chuck, who bears a striking resemblance to a—
Anybody gonna call it? Oh god, it's already on screen. You know what this is, right? This is an homage to Invader Zim.
another green animated dog. Yeah, that one. Jonan Vasquez himself even commented on the similarities
That's what Jonan looks like? That's what Jonan looks like.
between
Grr.
and Chuck on his Tumblr, playing off the similarities as a joke. He implied he felt the more crude
Okay, let me read this. Spinning and Stocking with Garter Belt to Gurr out of the, oh my god, I can't say that. Out of the brothel he was working in and gave him a new job. Jesus, Yonan's so weird. It's nice seeing him get some work done, but I gotta say it's a bit on the simple side for my taste. What with the fart and shit, but the ending is pretty ridiculous, and Gainax produces some of the only Japanese animation I can stand without wishing I was the drinking type. So I'm looking forward to more. And yeah, what's up, Sarah Wants a Cookie? What's up, Scientist, City of Doors? Yeah, Jonan Vasquez. I wonder if he's gonna refer to the Rule 34 surround. Wait, okay, I mean, God. I haven't seen any Rule 34 surrounding Penny and Stocking Garter Belt. This is one of the things that the series gets criticized for, though. When you're looking at the normal art style of PSG, it's a little hard to determine age of the characters, right? And I feel like they kind of have it both ways too. They put them in high school settings, but obviously, it's Gainax, so you get some diversity in the style of art. And when you get them portrayed in a realistic style, they're clearly of age. But then again, they're still getting they're getting mileage off of the idea that the priest is into their friend Brief, right? So the main characters, you got Panny and Stocking, the Anarchy sisters. You got the priest, who's kind of like their boss. He is supervising them, earning their heaven coins in order to get back into heaven by busting the ghosts, right? And then you've got Brief, who is like their dorky friend, right? And they're in high school settings, but the idea is to bust ghosts. They're angels, so they wouldn't be, registered for high school. But they're sort of fitting into that environment, which makes you think like, okay, how old are, these characters, looking? Then when you see the transformations age, you say, they're of age. But then the jokes that they make with Brief are like that the priest is trying to, get with with Brief, and so that's obviously playing off of it's making a joke off of, you know, a really serious scandal and gross thing that happened, you know, that happened in the Catholic Church. Yeah, reflection of that's the joke, right? So it's kind of hard to see, like it's hard to enjoy this series because there's so many elements that are not just like edgy, they're not just like risque, they're like just straight up like what the fuck, right? And you know, that's the series.
Trail of Chuck did not really mesh with the personality he had given to Gurr, but still praised Gainax overall as one of the few anime studios he could personally stomach.
Yeah, it is like 21 Jump Street, yeah.
Geez, wow, I guess he doesn't care for anime. From angels and demons stripping their clothes off, to the same demons and angels shooting each other right afterwards, among all the craziness, there was a plot that was slowly advancing throughout the show, which is Panty and Stocking trying to get those heaven coins and go back to heaven. Did they ever achieve their goal at the end? Well, let's just say that this show has one of the most bizarre endings ever conceived in an anime. What happened, you ask? Well, it ended on a massive cliffhanger.
I mean, I got spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert, it revealed Stocking.
I don't know. Like, I mean, maybe we could skip the spoilers. Well, I don't know. I'm not trying to, like, if I say skip the spoilers, it's like I'm trying to tell you. I'm not recommending the show, just for the record, okay? This show is going to be rebooted, and maybe they're going to not be as yikes this time. Maybe. But, like, understand, like, there's stuff in this show I cannot, with good conscience, recommend. However, yeah, I mean, I don't think getting the spoilers really, I don't think that adds anything to it, so we will skip right past that.
Massive loop, then closing out before you had any time to even process the twist. It was almost as abrupt as the ending of Drawn.
It's not really an ending you can spoil. Was originally made as a troll ending. I mean, yeah, it's just it's too hard to even understand. Like it just doesn't it doesn't make sense. I mean, more crazy than, oh, you know what? I haven't seen the end of it. I haven't seen either the end of the original Evangelion cartoon or the end of Evangelion the movie, right? I haven't seen either of those yet, right? I've seen all the way up to that, and I've never finished it for some weird reason.
Together.
Drawn together have been canceled.
A sequel series seemed unlikely, as Hiroyuki, the director of Panty and Stocking, left Gainax and went on to co-found Studio Trigger in 2011. Bringing the same kind of energy that defined Gainax projects, Trigger is essentially viewed by the public as the successor of Gainax, and have gone on to produce a number of critically acclaimed and popular anime series: Kill la Kill, Little Witch Academia, Promare, and most recently, the hugely successful cyberpunk Edgerunners on Netflix. However, with Panty
I always forget that was them.
and Stocking still being owned by what remains of Gainax, which had at this point remained largely
A Gainax show has a Gainax ending? Who would have thought? Yeah, and so does now that I think of it, I guess Edgerunners. Oh well, yeah, I shouldn't spoil that. Some of you haven't seen Edgerunners yet. That one's good.
inactive ever since the founding of Trigger, it seemed that a follow-up to Panty and Stocking wouldn't happen. And even if it did, the director behind the series wouldn't even be involved. Now, there was a small blip of hope for a sequel in 2016, when a Twitter post from Gainax West vaguely hinted at a Panty and Stocking announcement. Speculation immediately abounded, pondering if this was the first hint at a second season. Hope intensified further when additional posts confirmed that the announcement wouldn't be a pachinko machine, or a social network game, or an additional Blu-ray release of the first season, and instead said,
Or a patch of slot.
quote, "We're offering something new for fans of the series." So, what was it? The teaser ended up being a Panty and Stocking themed cafe. Bastards. I want to go, but bastards nonetheless, right? Why do they toy with our hearts? Since Gainax has essentially
Has anybody ever been to a themed cafe? Like, I've seen YouTube videos on, like, there's a Persona 5 themed cafe, but, like, I can't imagine actually wanting, like, I don't know. I can't, like, I love Persona 5. I love Atlas. Speaking of yikes, speaking of shit that I can't explain or I can't excuse, yeah, Atlas. Another guilty pleasure, but, like, I can't imagine going to, like, a you know, I mean, all it is, like, you know, the food is themed, and it's not even a cool way, like, right? If it was, like, you could get the items that you get in Persona to, like, level up and to heal yourself, that would be cool, but it's not even that. It's just, you know, I don't know, it's weird.
dissolved, and most of the studio went on to form Studio Trigger, the likelihood of a follow-up to Panty and Stocking is almost certainly never going to happen. That ending cliffhanger seemed to...
No, I've never seen Gurren Lagann. I've never seen that. I want to get the H.R. Geiger bar in Tokyo. Okay, that sounds like it could be cool. I mean, I would go to like a cat cafe. I just can't imagine going to like a cafe, like a Persona 5. And then there's one, I think in LA. Wait, is that right? Is it in LA? I can't, no, it is in San Fran. It's in San Francisco, I think. I love the way that Gurren Lagann escalates. Cielo Mist, Dr. Salt. Seems like it'd be a totally crazy bar. Yeah, it should be a bar. That would be fun.
Very much so.
No, it was a coffee shop.
Intentional.
Hold it!
Oh my God. No way.
Yeah.
Wow, okay. So in 2020, Studio Trigger was able to secure the rights to both Panty and Stocking as well as Gurren Lagann from what remained of Gainax.
Wow, so they might reboot Gurren Lagann as well.
Rights back into the hands of the original creative team that helmed the projects. During a panel at Anime Expo 2022, Trigger revealed that they were working on the elusive, seemingly never going to happen second season of Panty and
So there we have it. It is scheduled to happen this year. The reboot, right?
Stocking. After a 10-year
It's in San Francisco. It's just regular food and drink with a touristy stuff, but overpriced.
hiatus. As of right now, a specific release date is still unknown, but it's rumored that it's going to be 2023. Also, there's like obviously a lot of questions about the nature of the series, especially so long after the initial series ended. Trigger clearly has the animation chops to make something like Panty and Stocking again. Recent projects like Brand New Animal and Edge Runners prove that. Not that there was ever like any doubt at all to begin with. And considering the creative director of the series is the current co-owner of Trigger, the heart of the series will most likely survive the 10-year hibernation. Though here comes the real question, and the one that actually concerns me, is if a show like Panty and Stocking can survive in 2023. Panty and Stocking, like I already
And see, like, okay, we're gonna fast forward right past that scene. I'm sure that is just, those are just a dessert type. Oh my God, no. Okay, no, God, you see that? So there's a priest. There's the priest, and yeah, that's oh my God, this is so bad. This is so bad, right? We have a lot of cat cafes here. They just try to spin the fact that there are so many strays around.
off screen, like multiple times over. Which
yeah. No,
is used as the butt of joke
oh
after.
my God, that is so
that's just the tip of this ice.
Yo, I'm not even kidding about this, right? They constantly go back to this idea of the priest being into brief, right? And here's the weird thing, right? Like I said, like, you know, there's a lot that points to these characters being like of age. They're you know, like, right, in the realistic portrayal of the characters, they are clearly of age, but then they want to have it both ways, right? The joke with Brief and the priest implies that Brief is, you know, anyway, it's fucking yikes. It's so yikes, right?
In terms of
I did go to a taqueria that is based on Dragon Ball Z. Oh God, yeah. Dragon Ball Z is so popular, and
of lines the show would cross that were even considered a bit too much even back in 2010. But in 2023? Oh, this year is an entirely different beast. There are people online nowadays who are much more sensitive to this kind of content and have no issue putting so-called problem.
Look, listen, I'm the SJW that you're talking about, Saberspark, and yes, I was joking about canceling you. I'm not really canceling you, okay? So you can breathe a sigh of relief, right? But I am the SJW that you're worried about, and like, I'm not gatekeeping the potty humor. I am not gatekeeping the sex themed humor, okay? It's like, for me, it's like the racism.
Problematic content.
Like that is the no-go.
And on blast and pushing it for cancellation and disparaging anyone who is not as equally outraged as them. Following the announcement of
There we go.
Season 2 of Panty and Stocking, TikTok exploded with content ripping on the show in general, calling out its offensive issues, and even calling its simplified style, combined with the sexual acts of the characters as, bait for P-words. I can't say it, YouTube would kill me. That the characters look too much like children and were stand-in for kids, which, like, the thought of that is just absurd. It is ridiculous.
I mean, it's not. They use in the humor, you can see that they're kind of trying to have it both ways. That, like, I mean, like, I can see why, you know, that's, yeah, they're
ridiculous. That is absolutely not what the show.
Also, the fact that Garter sounds like the character. Oh yeah, exactly. Character from the blaxploitation era. He does have that vibe. Yeah, looks like Black Dynamite.
was trying to do. But this is the climate
God,
that
am
a
I
new
missing?
season of this show is stepping into. And it's worth acknowledging as a potential issue for the show. Like,
Thank you for the follow, Solange.
I can only imagine that any of us that are terminally online are going to be hearing a lot about this show one way or another.
From
When
those goddamn SJWs on TikTok, yeah.
the new season finally drops. I guess we'll find out soon enough.
Place my donut, eat my donut. I've got a donut for you.
In conclusion, Panty and Stocking is one of the most unique animated shows ever made, and is a great example of combining Western animation influence into anime, which isn't very common. Usually it's the other way around. But Panty and Stocking was different, from its distinct character designs, to its smooth and dynamic animation, to its irreverent writing. Panty and Stocking has firmly cemented itself as a standout in the world of anime. Yes, I admit, it is not perfect, and quite a few of the jokes are dated or just never hit to begin with. But most of the flaws of the show that are just like, hey, I don't dig pop.
Like, I can forgive the inconsistency of the humor because they were being experimental. Like, I appreciate that, right? If an episode is no good, then you don't watch it again. All right, it's no big deal, right? If a show is funny, if a show is good, you can forgive some off jokes or some humor that just kind of takes it too far. And there are some episodes, like I feel like the nose picking episode. Yes, there is a nose picking episode. There's a nose picking episode, okay, and it takes it further than is funny, right? It's more, definitely like don't be eating anything when you watch the nose picking episode. If you watch the nose picking episode, but
Body humor, but I'll let it pass.
I can forgive that. I've got no problem with it, right? For me, it's the first of all, the racist depiction in especially in one episode, right? And yeah, people mentioned the sort of black exploitation vibe that Garter Belt has, and then the eating disorder fuel in that same episode. There's like one episode of this that I could totally do without. Yeah, thank you for squishing that like button. It helps a lot. We've had to reset this stream time and time again, right? So every time we do it, you've got a new chance to press like, and take that chance, right?
Or, that's kind of hypersexualized and irreverent, whatever, I'll let it slide, or it's kind of funny here and there. Those kinds of flaws to me make it stand out that much more, because they were trying to do something different.
Yeah, that stuff I don't really mind.
With season 2 slated for a 2023 release, I guess we'll have to wait and see if something as shocking and sardonic as Panty and Stocking could still succeed in this current media
Shocking, sardonic, not a problem. Racist,
landscape.
That's a
Things
problem.
have changed so much since 2012. Though it can also be argued that people getting upset over Panty and Stocking is nothing new, since they've been upset before even back in the day when it first was released. But nowadays, it could get ugly. Though also, this could completely
To be fair, at least in the US and probably in Japan too, this just wasn't that popular.
backfire on the detractors.
This is one of those shows that has built up a cult following like after being released. It wasn't popular enough to have that much of a backlash.
Because, hey, controversy sells. It might make the show that much more popular. I mean, hey, look at that Harry Potter game that came out.
Saber Spark. Oh my god. Like, I love that people really think that, like, yo, this got popular because of the boycott. A streamer boycott. Okay, so yeah, Nicotine boycotted this, suggested other people boycott it. Nicotine and Kira Chats, some other streamers took a week off of Twitch because they were advertising. I don't think that made this more popular. This is Hogwarts. This is Harry Potter. This was going to be popular no matter what. AAA release of a Harry Potter game. It's going to be popular. He talks about the SJWs. What does he really mean is a couple of people on Twitter. The mob of SJWs he believes exists is algorithms and companies that want to make as much money as popular.
Heard of it, but I saw reports saying like it's one of the best-selling games or most streamed games on Twitch. So yeah, controversy.
Really, you weren't gonna? No, you were gonna play this. Like you either like Okay, look. As far as Harry Potter goes, you're either over it, disgusted by J.K. Rowling, or nostalgic, right? And if you're nostalgic, there's a lot of nostalgic people out there. You're probably going to play this game. You're going to see this game, and you're going to play this game, And I don't think it matters whether trans people are upset or not. I don't really think that that's, I feel like people are overhyping and overblowing the effect of the quote unquote backlash, you know, making this more popular.
I guess. Also, it's worth noting that this is an anime.
Really happy I was never an HP fan.
Anime
Yeah.
itself tends to operate by a different set of rules compared to Western animation and its sensibilities. But for me, my biggest fear of all is seeing the creators of Panty and Stocking compromise their vision and buckle under the pressure in order to play it safe. To see it of its cynical origins in order to avoid any kind of problematic backlash. Nah, screw that. I don't like that at all. Stick to your guns. There's some
Stick to your yeah. See, like, look, and this is the thing. I think that maybe Saber Spark missed the episode that I'm talking about, right? Because it's more than just sardonic and irreverent and whatever, you know, he's talking about here.
things you can be nuanced on, some bad jokes you can leave behind. But if you like completely strip the show of any of its cynicism, of its sense of humor, if that happens,
Okay, some bad jokes you can leave behind. Yeah. There's some racist shit you can leave behind too, maybe.
then it's not the same show anymore. Like there are some unsavory jokes that were never fun.
That. So he admits that this whole thing with Brief and the priest is not funny
To me to begin with, that those jokes can fall to the wayside. The boy being abused, not funny. I never thought that was funny to me. The sexual nature of the priest, lol, Catholic priest, right? That's the joke, not funny to me. But if the entire show decides to become kind, safe, sensitive, then why
It's not gonna do that. Come on, if they're not gonna reboot it like that.
come back at all? There's definitely, again, a nuance to this dance, but I think it can be done. Hell of a Boss does it. They walk that tightrope, and I bet you Penny
What do you think about Hell of a Boss, chat? What thoughts on Hell of a Boss?
and Stocking can as well. So yes,
I don't have the same problems with Hell of a Boss, but then again, I don't see racist caricatures in Hell of a Boss. There's nothing in Hell of a Boss that makes me want to starve myself. Wait, they do wait, who do they tease about? Oh yeah. Wait, I'm trying to remember. Who do they tease about? There's one of the characters that gets teased about their weight, right? I can't remember who it is.
recommend Penny and Stocking. The writing, the jokes, the characters are not perfect, but it is definitely a
He
unique
thinks they're gonna reboot it to be the Teletubbies? I know, what the right? Only seen the first episode of Hell of a Boss. It seemed okay.
spectacle that
Yeah, the first episode was a little bit of a sleeper.
oozes unapologetic style and passion. Hopefully, season 2 can improve on the original series and rock the boat in a good way with this current media landscape, one that is much more sensitive and difficult to traverse. But folks, could you imagine
Like Hell of a Boss, from what I've seen, is like the right kind of edgy. Right now, I haven't seen Drawn Together, okay, and people are telling me that it's like racist, homophobic, etc. I've never seen this, right? It just there's something about like the character design that just made me not want to watch it. I don't remember. I honestly don't remember this coming out. I remember seeing this on streaming services maybe, or but yeah, it just never seemed to be.
this show coming back today?
Luna looked pretty cool though. Yeah, Luna's awesome.
What if it was released now? Yeah, the show that inspired Penny and
And
Stocking.
I'm really excited for Has Been Hotel whenever that actually comes out.
The show that was so offensive, so shocking, that mid-2000s Comedy Central
The creator is friends with a bunch of Newgrounds and 4chaners. Oh my god. Okay, see, I didn't know that. The issues I've heard with Vivzy are that she's a hell of a boss. Right. The unironically, the issues I've heard is that the work environment was, kind of tough. The era of Comedy Central was pretty much all racism and homophobia. Yeah, they're all trying to be the new South Park.
canceled it. Drawn Together is literally the antithesis of the modern online world in almost every single way. I guess I'll review it.
No, okay, I don't even want to know what that is. All right, we're done with this. We are legitimately done with this, okay? And on to maybe onto Twitter. Okay, so what do we see trending? Scott Adams. Okay, so we watched the Scott Adams thing yesterday, right? There's no doubt Scott Adams is a racist weird champ, okay? And I don't know if I can show you any more about that. People are like the comic strip Dilbert which, you know, was in newspapers, which apparently people still read, is no longer in a bunch of those newspapers. Again, he wants to blame, and if you want to blame anyone, blame the companies that make that stuff. It's also not that hard to admit that some edgy humor doesn't age well. I know, right? Well, he starts to admit that, but he's still carrying on this line of like, you know, the SJWs are ruining everything. Drawn Together had an incestuous makeout scene, but oh my god, really? Okay, see, like I was right not to watch it then. Yeah, it doesn't seem like my sort of thing. Apartheid, hell no. Biden destroys America. Wonderful right-wing hashtag there. Okay, so what do I want to take a look at? Elon Musk was trending. Really? Is this real? I don't even know if this is real. Did he change the color of the... It doesn't look like the like button has changed colors. Wow. Look at this meme. Look at this meme lord. Look at this meme lord. Okay, so this is what we're talking about here. So I showed you the Scott Adams thing. It's not like borderline. It's not like, you know, iffy. It's just straight up racist. It is Scott Adams reacting to a poll that was based on a white supremacist slogan, right? That is what we're dealing with, you know, in terms of Scott Adams, right? But here's what Elon, oh no, this is monitoring bias. Adams was horrified that a poll of black people showed that, oh, see, look at this. Look at this. That is what I'm talking about right there. That is a white supremacist slogan, right? And like, it's impossible to say when anybody's like, hey, why do you disagree with this? Should be uncontroversial, right? Are you against white people or something, like, right? There are some people that I guess maybe don't know what this is, don't know that it's agitprop. It's old agitprop. It's not new. It's like from 2016, right? That's a scam post. Wait, the monitoring bias one is? Why is Elon Musk? Elon Musk is a Dilbert. He is a Dilbert, isn't he? He's a little pointy-haired boss. He called this hate and recommended that white people live. MSM verdict. Adams is a racist, but not the Okay, so there's somebody unironically standing Scott Adams, right? Or unless that's is this a parody post? Am I like missing this? Right, but yeah, there was a poll on Rasmussen. Rasmussen is a right-wing outlet, right? They're usually not a far-right outlet. They're a mainstream outlet, but they are right-wing. So of the mainstream outlets, Rasmussen is the most right-wing. Their polls tend to slant to the right. Their coverage tends to slant to the right. They're kind of right-wing, right? But for them to actually come out and ask a poll question that is a white supremacist, like, piece of agitprop is kind of weird. Adams, right? He's a boomer. And I'm not just saying like that in the colloquial sense, literally a baby boomer. And maybe not familiar with the source material of this, but yeah, he takes the poll and uses it as a jumping off point to just go on a racist rant, right? He just goes on a full-on racist rant. He gets super weird too. He says that he was identifying as black, but now, you know, because he wanted to be on the winning team, and now he's gonna stop because of this poll, right? Because he didn't like that, like that black people did not like unequivocally say yes to the racist white supremacist talking point, right? So here comes Elon Musk, right? Speaking of hell of a boss, right? The media is right. No, I won't compare Elon to Hell of a Boss. Right? The media is racist. Okay, the media is racist. I mean, true. Maybe not in the way you think it is, but like, right. So here's let's elaborate. Let's elaborate, Elon. For a very, very, in quotes, very. Why is it in quotes? Right? Just say a very long time. If that's what you mean. If you want to include very is usually not needed. Right? People overuse this word. But if you want to use it, fine. Very. You don't need quotes around. Why are there quotes around very? I don't understand. For a very long time, the U.S. media was racist against non-white people. Was racist. The U.S. media was racist against non-white people. Yeah. Now they're racist against whites and Asians. What? Same thing happened with elite colleges and high schools. High schools are racist against white people too, apparently. Okay, and colleges. We've heard the college thing. That's the whole. Maybe they can try to not. Maybe they could try not being racist. All right. So here's an Elon writer. Here's a Doge writer saying Adams's comments weren't very good. Okay, I mean that's. Give you credit for that. True. Adams's comments weren't very good. True. But there's an element of truth. Oh my God. Really? Is that where we're going with? There's an element of truth to this. It's complicated. Mainly, we've leaned into identity. Oh my God. It's identity politics with the predictable results. The power today is complicated. Not as complicated as you think, right? There's a complexity to power, but that's intersections, right? But I'm sorry, I can't bring up intersectionality to these people because they're going to accuse me of touting CRT, right? That even bringing that up that's CRT, and I'm not allowed to do that. But no, the left is the one trying to suppress your free speech, right? Not the right. We were on the right path with color blindness. Oh yeah, fucking big brain take right here. Color blindness. We need to return to color blindness. Exactly. Okay, so that's what we got here. And like this was the post that I liked, right? For those who need a refresher, this is Dr. Jackie Lewis right here, Reverend Jackie Lewis. And for those who need a refresher, racism is bias plus power. That's why reverse racism is a lie. It's structural power of whiteness that gives racism its fangs, right? That's for folks in the comments who need further clarity. Anyone can be biased. That's bias, right? Bias being part of the equation. Bias plus power is racism, right? So anyone can have bias, but if you don't have power, is it really the same thing? Does it have the fangs? And I would say no. I would say that the fangs come with the combination, right? All people should examine and unravel the biases we carry. But we also have to talk about how bias interacts with structural power. Flattening all bias as equal and naming that racism obscures how some people's biases become rules. There we go. There it is. I don't like that. This is actually a challenge to be able to take like I said, there's some complexity to this, right? But to be able to put it into a tweet takes some. It's not as easy as it looks, as Reverend Lewis is making it look here, right? We must ask, who has the ability to make their biases shape the world? Exactly. There we go. I'm colorblind, but not like that. I've seen the comic, but it's been a while. Divorced dad energy and all, yeah. He has, yeah. Oh, yeah. Wait, Scott Adams, or I guess Elon Musk, again, both of them could be. Is Dilbert the boss in the comic strip? No. Dilbert is a, is Dilbert like a middle manager, or is he kind of like, he's always portrayed as being the recipient of the orders, not the givers. Adams has enough media literacy to know better. Yeah, I mean, he's racist, right? That much is clear. Scott Adams is definitely racist. That's too much work for these orcs. Sorry, it's not fair to orcs for the horde. Oh my god, yeah, we can't be Like at the heart of racism of whiteness is anti-blackness. This has been the case since late medieval Iberia and Maghreb to this current moment in the US. Dilbert literally works in a cubicle. Yeah, so the boss is the guy, I think the boss has oh, so somebody was saying Elon Musk is the pointy-haired boss, right? That's a character in Dilbert. The boss has pointy hair that points up in 2 points, and it kind of looks like devil horns. So the boss is like, the devil. That's the idea. And that's a weird thing, right? Because Dilbert, when you look at it structurally, like it could be like the tool for class consciousness. It's not. It's not. Scott Adams is not interested in that. That's not what Dilbert is, right? And you can imagine this guy's like literally wrote about how to lick the boot and convince yourself you like it. It was called The Joy of Work. The Vaush has Heihachi hair. I heard Scott Adams lives in a Dilbert-shaped house and lives off Dilbert brand microwave burritos. I don't know. I mean, we did get to see his kitchen yesterday, right? Saber Spark is just tilting at windmills that don't exist when he makes up this false dichotomy between panty and stocking, and it has to be super edgy or super baby. Yeah, that's right. That's exactly what it is. It is a false dichotomy. Pretty sure a portion of Scott Adams's house is shaped like Dilbert's head. That's real. Dilbert in Dilbert, HR is literally the devil. Used to enjoy the comic. It's very anti-corporate, but you can see how like the anti-HR thing would be, turned into like sort of an anti-DEI thing, right? If the boss is coded as the devil, then what does that have to? What does that do to the fact that Dilbert's boss is also coded as Jewish? I did not realize that. Oh, but I'm not surprised. I mean, like that's Scott Adams for you, I guess. So, I'm trying to figure out how to cover Adin Ross, right? The Joy of Work is reminding me of a book titled The Joy of Sex. With that mental comparison, it makes me nauseous. The boss is also wildly incompetent. I mean, so there is some, yeah, that's the thing. Is like, it feels like that at some point, maybe, also thank you for the follow, Salmon Moose. At some point that there might have been some class consciousness in this, right? There might have been, some potential, because I mean, like, it sounds like, the boss being, wildly incompetent is a critique of the so-called meritocracy. But at the same time, meritocracy isn't just a problem because it's illusory, right? So in other words, like there's a mythology that the social and economic structure is meritocratic, right? That's problematic, but so is the idea of meritocracy, and even if it really was meritocratic, right? Even if it wasn't, there wasn't a bunch of functions like legacy scholarships, etc., in place to ensure the continuation of social and financial power in the country. The idea of meritocracy, and we talked about like the idea of intelligence the other way, the notion that basically hammers together ability to deal with situations and ability to process information, that varies depending on what situations or information you're talking about, and says, no, this is all the same thing. There are certain people who essentially in any situation, in any, which requires the processing of information, are going to rise to the top, and there's certain people that not so much, right? So there's more of a problem with meritocracy than just the fact that the meritocracy that the United States has is not a meritocracy, right? The idea in and of itself is messed up, right? It's class consciousness to the extent that neoliberalism allows. Good point. Yeah, it only scratches the surface. I mean, same with achieving feminism by having more women startups. Like most people who go to the Ivy League, Ivy Leagues have family that also went to the Ivy Leagues. There's not all this great variety of people from all classes at them. Yeah. So it's bullshit. But like the problem, the thing that I don't want to do in criticizing, like in exposing the fact that we have a false meritocracy is imply that a true meritocracy would be the solution to our problems, right? What we need is something more along the lines of equity rather than this like sorting, system and structural inequality, etc. Oh, speaking of inequality, somebody sent me something. Let me see if I can find this again. Somebody wanted me to cover another post on Twitter. Gamer J, are you in here right now? I did get your Twitch whisper, and I did want to. I did want to see what this was about. I have not seen this yet though.
Oh, all right. The topic may be everywhere on the campaign trail.
You want to talk about wealth inequality in America?
Not really.
But off it, not so much.
Hey, you want to talk about wealth inequality? Oh, another time. We'll catch you later.
So,
we got some free pie here. Free pie?
We turned America's economic pie into a real one.
This is the
This is just like the dream I had last night, except it was at my gym. There was a buffet.
American pie.
And found a lot more.
Isn't American pie supposed to be apple pie?
More people willing to
It
address
looks like a pumpkin pie.
That's a simple question. Who gets what?
We have 5 plates.
Alrighty.
This represents everybody in America.
Okay.
So you've got your wealthiest 20% all the way down to your poorest 20%. And that is the American pie.
The pie itself represents about $98 trillion of household wealth in America. We asked people to dole it out as accurately as possible.
I guess start off with 2 slices.
On the wealthiest? Okay.
Yeah.
How many pieces of the pie would you put on the middle class?
Put 4.
4, all right. That's the middle class.
Let's do half a piece to the poorest.
Like right in the middle there?
Yep.
Okay.
Perfect.
So we're going to have to move some of the wealthiest to the lower class.
How much?
2 pieces.
To the lower middle?
Lower middle class.
Okay. So can I show you what reality looks like?
Not like this, obviously.
Unfortunately not.
No one was even close.
So it's actually 9 pieces of pie.
Wow.
Yeah. 90% of the wealth is right here in the top.
That's terrible.
Now, the upper middle class and the middle class, they share 1 piece. So these guys, they've got about 80% of a piece. They get 20% of a piece.
20% of the piece. Oh,
and
no.
then the lower middle class, they've got 0.3% of a piece. Yeah, they got some crumbs there. There you go. That's what they get. And the poorest, they have no pie. In fact, they have less than no pie. They actually have
because when you're talking about wealth, you can be negative.
bill for pie.
Yeah. They have debt. Yeah.
They're in pie debt. They owe pie.
People in the poorest 20% are, on average, more than $6,000 in debt.
I mean, this is so weird that this is on corporate media, right? Like, this surprises me that corporate media is these boomers are why the world is broken. I want pie. I want pie. The end of history. Yeah, you want to talk about wealth inequality? Now I just want some pie.
Very sad.
Yeah?
It's very sad. It's very depressing. I grew up here.
Really?
Uh-huh. That was me.
Let me show you something else.
Oh God, you see what that does though? Like, here's the thing. Like, I don't trust any American's perception of where they fit in terms of the wealth distribution, right? I feel like we all like, you know, want to see ourselves as having come from, you know, nothing. And like you do hear a lot of this idea of that there's like social mobility, but like there's been studies on that, like, right? If you moved from very little income or just, you know, debt to like having, you know, being pretty well off, you're the exception.
So even
and nobody really knows where we're at, right? Because nobody, like, if you don't know where the wealth is, if you don't know how unevenly it's distributed, if you don't know, like, you know, what percentage of the, you know, country each of these classes like actually make up, like, then you can't place yourself properly in this, you know.
If you just look at the wealthiest and you go to the top 1%. So the wealthiest one.
Because sometimes people will try to say that, like, that you know, pulling yourself up by your bootstraps is the solution, right? That, yeah, it really sucks. It really sucks for poor people. It really sucks for the lower middle class. It kind of sucks for the middle class too. But, you know, if you try hard enough, like, this is what Scott Adams was saying the other day, you know, get education. It's like the best thing of all. You'll have all the money that you need if you just educate yourself. You just prioritize education. It's as simple as that. And it's bullshit.
1% of everybody. These people alone have...
I'll have to settle for zebra cakes.
Not one, not two, not three, but 4 slices of pie. What do you think?
I want to know who these people are.
Is that what you expected?
Not at all. Disturbing.
This election cycle,
it's time for a wealth tax.
Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders have
so it looks like this post was from 2020.
Promised to redistribute the pie with a special tax on fortunes $50 million and up.
The wealthiest people in this country will start paying their fair share of taxes.
And polls show most Americans support the idea.
They should be giving a lot of that over here.
Do you think there should be an extra tax on the super wealthy?
Why not? They could afford it.
Yes, they should. Will it happen? Probably not.
No, you're not hopeful.
Not everyone is on board, as we found talking to people near some of the biggest yachts at the New York Boat Show.
That's against sort of the American way.
John Sheffield and Mark Tedford run an investment firm in
it's patriotic for me to, you know, have
Connecticut. They oppose.
It's patriotic for me to have multiple yachts.
The idea of a wealth tax.
It would be a total disaster. I'd actually like for them to continue to promote it.
We could also do the Soul Bunny. Yeah, we need to watch the Soul Bunny and FD talk. Linked to the Rose Malay. Rose Malay talked about transmisogynoir being another made-up word, along with oh my god, that's wild. It will all be used against. Oh yeah. Like, yeah, when we start to like so that's how the right wing kind of, like, you know, redirects, I would say. Redirects class consciousness with terms like globalist, and with the kind of, you know, that sort of anti-Semitic underpinnings of that, along with the you know, when you hear about like the woke corporations, this is another way to kind of like obfuscate what's going on, right? I would love a vegan pie. Yeah, I don't know if those pies are vegan. They forgot about one thing. The rich will complain about the middle and the poor getting pie, and we'll still get... we'll get even angrier at the poorest. Yeah, there was a poll recently, and they were asking, like, you know, do people support aid to the poor? And, like, overwhelmingly, yes, right? But then when you ask people, do you support welfare, which that's what that should be, right? They you know, it goes down from 70% to 30%. Most Americans think they are middle class, right? Sweet potato pie sounds good. The plates should be different sizes. The plates should be a different size. Oh yeah, good point, Cryptid Mage. If you make the plates different sizes, then you're also speaking to, like, how many people, you know, occupy, like, right? It depends. Like, so they just that was so vague to almost be worthless, to be like, okay, lower class, you know, lower middle class, and upper middle class and wealthy, right? Nobody really knows what that means, right? And yeah, like I said, like you were saying, Cryptid Mage, having plates be the size of like the number of people occupying that position would also help us understand it too. You ask me, there's no distinction. You're either disgustingly wealthy or working class. That is what, yeah, that is the tendency, right? The idea of middle class was created as a buffer between class struggle. Yeah, and it's more of a concept than it is a reality. I have never lived above the poverty line. I don't know, when people tell me they like 80K a year, I'm like, how is that even possible? It's true for white men, maybe, but not everyone else. My dad was able to get out of poverty by getting an education, but I don't think it would be possible if he were not white and male. Whose tweet is this? Who made this tweet? This is CBS Morning, that January 31st, 2020. So ahead of the 2020 election, it ended up being Trump versus Biden. Bernie had a strong showing, but ultimately, actually Bernie was ahead. And then overnight, like everybody but Biden pulled out. And you had Elizabeth Warren, kind of staying in, as long as Bernie was in there, to make sure that Bernie couldn't consolidate, the class consciousness that was present in the Democratic Party. Very TOS thoughts about the yacht show. Yeah. The poor getting pie is un-American. True. Yeah. The poor are supposed to pay for the pie, right? Pay for the pie, and not pay for the pie with their body and soul, really. Eat the rich, people's pie. It's very expensive to be poor. True. It's like people like this guy make me hate the American flag. It's the working class, the petite bourgeoisie, and the capitalists. These middle, lower, upper class categories are just obfuscations. One of the biggest eye-opening moments I had was in a sociology class, where I was shown a chart that was just like, it was organized by distribution. So literally income, like right from $0 all the way up to the highest income out there, right? And they show you the distribution, like the literal distribution of that. And the fact that you had a big clump kind of at the bottom, and then you'd see all these dots out there in the upper end, and they were just like like they're just like both the gulf of income in between the very rich and the very poor, and also the tiny percentage of people at those upper income levels, right? Kind of blew my mind. Bernie would have won. Don't let any liberal shill tell you otherwise. I don't even vote for president part, the president part on the ballot, because by the time the primaries reached my state, literally everyone has dropped out. And I think the Democrats changed the primaries now, right? So it looks like South Carolina is going to be going first. Although whenever this happens, like the other states try to change their primaries too. I can't say that I have yet to hate it, but I understand what you mean. Oh, the American flag. Oh yeah, California, doesn't vote till it's basically all over because of Biden not showing up to Palestine. He may very well have pushed some of those people towards voting for Trump. Bernie, East Palestine, Ohio, yeah. Bernie will absolutely show up to East Palestine. I believe very strongly that those people who may have turned towards Trump would rather vote for Bernie. Yeah, that was a big unforced error by Biden. Huge unforced error. And the irony being that, like, okay, so, you know, Biden's got a neoliberal, you know, head of transportation, right? But a lot of the problems that contributed to the disaster are problems that you could rightly blame on Trump. You know, are regulations that Trump cut. So this wasn't even an issue where like the optics are somehow bad for Biden. I think the issue is that Democrats are cowards. The reason why people say Bernie lost all his popularity was because when he asked if he would raise taxes on the middle class, quote unquote, he said yes. And that made him lose a lot of support. However, he knows that taxation does not fund federal expenditure, so he didn't have to say he would do that since it was unnecessary. It was unnecessary to do that to fund Medicare for all. Forgot which podcast went over this, but an actual AOC economic advisor talked about what I said above. Thank you, Holly. Thank you for the follow. So let's finish this. Let's finish this video here.
Because they won't get elected in that way. Wealth redistribution is always popular amongst the masses who don't have the wealth and not popular amongst the 1% that do.
Well,
so
I mean,
it's popular, but it doesn't make economic sense to me.
Well, so help me understand that, because you're acknowledging that there is some unfair.
So yeah, that's a weird thing he says. It doesn't make economic sense. Now, right, we talk about perspective a lot, right? And I've talked about objectivity. I've talked about the weaponization of the concept of objectivity, right? Objectivity is a concept more than it is a reality, right? Like, to even conceive of objective, you have to imagine almost like a godlike figure with like, you know, perfect vision of all points, right? So, but who's the real godlike figure, right? Because it's not God. God doesn't exist, right? Who is the godlike figure who is defining the objectivity? And I would claim that that is the person standing at the maximum crossroads of privilege, right? So, in other words, and I say the person because I don't think there's that many people that occupy that position. So the objective perspective is the perspective of the person that's literally, you know, the best situated person or the best situated people out there, right? So when he says it doesn't make economic sense, I very much doubt that he's able to get out of his own perspective. The idea, though, like what he's trying to sell is that like the most economic sense for everyone, right? That society just will not work if you don't have this concentration of wealth. God is dead, and NCC has Robloxed him. Mecha Nietzsche 2029, probably. Who makes the wealth? Oh, good point. Yeah, where does this wealth actually come from? Also, financiers are not good at economics, let alone macroeconomics.
Fairness here. There's a lot of people with not much, and there's a small fraction of people with a lot.
Right. I guess the alternative is, do we need a socialist economy where everyone has the same? That doesn't make sense either. A lot of people who have a lot have earned it and made it. They've started their own companies, they've grown businesses, they've worked hard, they've gotten good degrees, they've gone to school.
And basically what this is resting on is an image of the Soviet Union as being a dismal and depressed place, that being defined as socialism, and then capitalism as being defined like as you know, the United States, but not the real United States that most people occupy, right? The mythical United States that for most of us never existed. Also, thank you for the follow, Eye of Scrutiny. Welcome to the chat.
They may have had more opportunity than others, but there's other people who just haven't done that.
A vote for any Democrat in 2020 is a vote for the rise of radical socialism and the destruction of the American dream.
The political fight will continue.
I have nothing else to offer but pie.
I'll take it.
But at our little table, redistribution was a hit.
If I'm going to take a piece, it will be from the excess.
Okay.
I'll take that pie over there.
This pie over here? You want the rich pie?
Yeah.
Pumpkin.
He's defining the labor of those people that work for him as undeserving of wage comparable to the capital generated from their the literal engine of the wealth production, right? Should not be getting any fuel. That's
pie.
Rich people pie.
The Caleb Maupin United States, the radical socialism and the destruction of the American dream. Where do I sign up? Yeah, right. All I have to do is vote I know. If only, right? All I have to do is vote Democratic. Yeah. All right. So what was funny is that the tweet that actually got linked to me was this one: fun with numbers, but wealth isn't finite. Somebody having money doesn't mean that somebody else can't. How am I hurt by the guy across the town having more than me? Look, if you're getting the bill for his pie a lot, right? If what's sitting on his plate is pie and what's sitting on your plate is the bill, then yeah, that kind of fucking sucks. Like, how? This is some serious, this is a curse tweet. This is a curse tweet. What's to stop me from going out and making my own wealth? Then fucking okay, I don't know. Is this somebody that has an MLM or right? You want to gonna Andrew Tate this? I don't know. If you're gonna scam people, maybe, right? But then what are you doing? You are scraping up the crumbs down here on the low end of things. And trying to put together another piece of pie out of that, right? That's both harmful, okay, and I don't know. You're convincing yourself that you're well off when really all you've done is aggregate crumbs from people that need them. Okay, so I guess these are the replies to this tweet. We are in wage slavery and the system is wrong. Wealth is finite. You can't just poof more money into existence or else reduces the value of the current economy. Just look at what happened. Okay, so yeah, that's literally a sign that the economy is not working properly, or it is working properly. It's just the goal, the purpose of the capitalist economy doesn't have you in mind, right? A poor person competing with a wealthy person in the marketplace is like playing card games, the card game war, with a poor person having 2 3s and a 5, and the wealthy person having all the other cards. You are arguing something completely different. Everyone below those first 2 plates is paying a much higher percentage of their money in taxes, while the 2 highest get to keep most of theirs at everyone else's expense. It hurts you because concentration of wealth means more power, more money to throw at lobbyists and corporate lawyers to rig the rules in their favor and to your disadvantage, so they can amass even more wealth in less time. And all the while, you have no say in the process. I keep seeing that assertion. So the assertion, make the pie bigger, and no one ever brings up inflation, right? And also nobody ever explains how you're making the pie bigger. What the fuck does that mean, right? I am astounded. I guess I shouldn't be, that so many don't understand. And look, if I don't know, I could conceive of there being an argument for this in a world where you got Amazon, all the big players. And then you've got all these little startups coming along and carving out pieces of Amazon's pie. We know that's not how it works, though. We know that the products that Amazon sells, right? The products that, like, you know, all the big corporations sell used to be sold by more businesses. There used to be more people, you know, occupying that that sales real estate, right? And instead of it going from the bigger, from less players that are, you know, from a fewer number of players that are bigger to a greater number of players that are small, it's going the other way, right? So yeah, like in you know, modern America, that idea that just figure out a business and start making money and, you know, you're gonna be fine, right? It's such bullshit, right? Astounded, I guess I shouldn't be, that so many don't understand what that wealth can and is created by everyone and never a static number. Yeah, there we go. Wealth created by all of us. Yeah. The question is unnecessarily hypothetical. The evidence at hand is that wealth has grown unequally. The correct question is therefore not what's to stop people from getting rich themselves, but what has stopped them, right? And if you're one of these, if you're the, you know, if you're this the original tweeter, the original poster on this tweet, not the OP of the thread, right? But if you're this person, then like, what if you probably answer what has stopped them? They're gonna say that they're lazy, that they're not educated, that they don't value education. Like, they'll have all kinds of insulting answers for you, basically. It absolutely is finite. What the WTF do you mean? Money is a representation and it's in circulation. Wealth and money are different, but both finite. They got you believing that the little money you make is in some universe, is in the same universe as the existence of the top 1%. So yeah, I mean, this person just got absolutely destroyed in the comment. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Wow. Okay. So he keeps going. Look at that. Look at that. Okay. So you do have a lot of people that do understand, right? Despite how frustrating that comment was, right? Taxing the rich would not cause inflation, Lamau. Inflation is not when, quote unquote, more money is printed. Most money is created by private commercial banks. Legislation is bipartisan. Really, Democrats didn't create a law saying they can't, but make no mistake, when a Dem or a Republic is in power, they'll crush strikes and any kind. Yeah, we've seen that with Biden. We've seen that with Biden. Many people in the replies are calling it a fixed pie fallacy. Wait, are in the replies of the OP? In the replies of CBS News, you mean? Yeah, exactly. Didn't the Democrat-led Congress literally legislate to make the railroad strikes illegal? I am currently negative pi. Right now, I can't afford toilet paper or menstrual pads or cat food, and I don't know how to set up a GoFundMe. Yeah, this is depressing. Okay, so I promised you the new we're talking about foreign man. Foreign man in a foreign land with the patriarchy pick me scam. Oh my god, I'm rhyming. Okay, good for me.
Just pearly things come out of nowhere and a mass of fervent for.
Yeah, this is just pearly things. So do we know about Pearl? Do we know about Pearl? People are calling just pearly things like the female Andrew Tate. This is the Femosphere, right? This is the antecedent to the what is it? The red pill community. There's different names for that. Manosphere. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm like, what is it called? The Manosphere. Yeah. Pearl. Yeah. So this is foreign man in a foreign land. Great video essayist, right? like some of the best, like, you know, best produced video essays I have seen on YouTube come from this guy. And if you're not already following, here, let me. I kind of want to grab his I kind of want to grab his link for you.
Like these. Women are fatter than ever before, we're older than ever before, and we're less useful than ever getting married, and we have more bodies than ever. So,
yo, stop being old, women. What the fuck? Oh my god.
So we bring.
Did she seriously just say that?
Bring less to the table than ever. How many women have a cookbook?
This is something that Candace Owens been doing since King Hatchet was a hammer, and that has rendered her one of the most visible black conservatives in the Western Hemisphere.
The feminist movement has nothing to do with women. It has nothing to do with trying to help women at all. They just like to still use the word feminism so that you can't attack it, right?
No.
Or else you're a sexist and you hate women.
I don't know if I got
Let's see who you really are.
Basically, I'm a hoe. I need dick.
Andrew Tate!
That's all I'm interested in.
And what say you, Candace?
I don't know what the hell I'm talking about.
Correct the fraud. I mean, Jordan Peterson.
I have a low IQ.
This prosaic skit is meant to articulate
the
research question of this video essay. Are these femmes?
Yeah, get a cookbook and stop being old. That's what she said.
Or was it something else? Stop typing. Foreign! You clamor in the comments, weeping with rage. Why am I, the cissus of het men, to ever tread this moribund mortal coil, talking about femininity? Well, my sweet summer child, you're about to find out why. You see, remember this clip from Brittany Renner?
What do you gain from telling girls that they're not special? How does that make you feel? I mean, I know everything is a joke, but I'm asking you a real question. So how does that make you feel? Because if I say you're that does something for me, right? If I insult you or if I tell you you're not special, you're forgettable. Again, you're forgettable. That's why I didn't want to do you guys' podcast. Forgettable. Hate the setup. The name is underwhelming. I didn't really see the value in it.
Now, first off, this clip has been scrubbed off of the internet and supplanted by pretty much only Femosphere commentary of the actual video. Even Hassan Nabi covered this, which is not surprising because the only thing that this man loved more than black people business is eating hummus while watching a Jay Aubrey video and going to the bathroom to piss. Brittany of the Renners, one of the most ostensible IG models. A career path that is loathed by these inselect trolls that couldn't even get a follow back from these films. Brittany went from an IG model to standing up for countless casualties at the hand of the Fresh and Fit podcast. This gal stood up against Myron. Foreign from the future editing this right now. I want to take a second to acknowledge and apologize for the ableism in that Freudian slip.
Shots fired.
I'm sorry. Please don't cancel me. I mean, come on, give me a break, man. I literally just donated and helped raise money for my big trans folk them so I could deflect warranted criticism like Kaffles. Anyway, back to Brittany's
oh my god, hell yeah,
podcast that rendered her a feminist icon overnight. The title of a feminist icon may be one that is not warranted because just a month or so ago, she did this.
As a former loud and proud man hater,
Brittany Renner made a video in the car.
Why is he always in a car? If you feel the urge to record in your car, maybe don't.
And this
it's Tara Mooney.
Video would be no different from the litany of videos that were made in cars. And
who is this guy again? Here, let me give you the direct link to subscribe. This is Foreign Man in a Foreign Land, or if you want to say it quickly, a lot of people just say foreign. Like he goes by Foreign as well. I tried to make a acronym, but I don't know. It sounds too much like FLCL, so we're just gonna say foreign.
Age like milk, because Brittany Renner would go on to make a testimony about the 5 game changes as a recovering
man hater. Here are 5 things that have changed the game for me. Number 1, I realized I didn't hate men. I hated the way I allowed myself to be mistreated by men. Big difference, right? You're not a victim. You are a participant. And when you point the finger, you miss out on the opportunity to grow.
On this point, at
oh my god,
face value, it ain't so bad, you know. Accountability is awesome, actually. And it's important for you to be able to see your part in the problem. But my big and be them women, them and man, them.
So it's not that men are doing, you know, are harming women. It's that women are allowing themselves to be harmed by men. I'm a man hater.
Listen to me. We quickly descended into skullduggery territory thereafter.
Number 2, I stopped saying I didn't need a man. Because if I want a relationship with a man, then I need one, right? Okay, that's that on that.
You want a relationship. You don't need a relationship. This is coded language in the anti-SJW spaces directed towards feminist theory.
I gotta be honest, like, I've been late to the party on this stuff, right? I didn't see the rise of kidology. I didn't know who Pearl was. I kept on hearing her name, but I didn't know who people were talking about until recently. I didn't know that the Femosphere was a thing. It's a pretty simple thing. It's obviously going to arise, but like, what are they just rehashing Rushvi's red pill? Pretty much, right? Well, did you see the beginning of this? He takes all these Femosphere, protagonists, right? And he rips their masks off and reveals the manosphere creator who they are channeling, right? Basically the person's words that are coming through their mouth, right? And it's like, Jordan Peterson, Fresh and Fit, like all these people, right?
I don't need a man mantra is in direct response to the patriarchal requirement that had femmes in a literal rear naked chokehold. This is before and after.
Okay, obviously that's not a rear naked chokehold, but
suffrage
whatever.
And the disenfranchisement of femmes worldwide. You couldn't vote. You couldn't own land. You couldn't open up a damn bank account as a femme without a man. Fast forward to today, where despite the many attempts to roll back the saunters in suffrage, femmes do not need a man, hence the phrase. And it's a phrase that many men, like myself, as well as other femmes, needed to hear.
If you are a woman and you're out working, your relationship isn't going to work. Because that's why they say that, because they don't want women to be working. They don't want women to realize that theoretically can make it on their own, that it is possible. And that's why they're like, oh, well, your relationship isn't going to work if you do that. But actually, it can work. Many people do that. In fact, there are many men who are attracted to that.
But the reason why a femme parroting this patriarchal point is so pernicious is that men have been spouting this anti-feminist frameworks and rhetoric from time. However, even they realize that some femmes may not be receptive to that message simply because it's the wrong messenger. So misogynist men need feminine figures like Brittany Renner, like Candace Owens, like Pearl, to add some feminine authority to the misogynist things they say.
3, you can't be that serious about getting picked.
There's the word. There's it right there. She said the title.
If you're not in the gym at least 3 times a week. You don't even take care of yourself, so how would you expect someone to take care of you?
This enumeration assumes that femmes' default state is not enough. She doesn't acknowledge the possibility that femmes may not want a man in the first place, hence my last point. But furthermore, she doesn't see the gym as a place for mental, emotional, or physical health. She sees it as a matrix for desirability, which reeks of anti-fatness. But beyond that, it's also very harmful advice for femmes that are watching her and hoping to achieve her level of desirability. A level that you have no idea what boss battles, skill buffs, and brushes with death she had to undergo simply to achieve it.
She has the right intention sometimes, but like, it's clear she's not doing research on like women before her that probably like were inspired to start saying the things she was saying. They have very valid reasons to be cautious of men and dislike men as a whole. But when they talk about it, it just comes from whatever they think about and then whatever their friends think. And that's all the research they put into it, which is fine. But then you give people like social media, so then they blast this to other people. And the only kind of like certification they have is just the fact that they're like really confident.
Number 4, I stopped entertaining stragglers. And stragglers are guys you meet along the way that you know you're not really ever going to take seriously, but you use them for your own personal entertainment. Number 1, that's wrong. Number 2, you're sending a mixed message. Stay committed to what you want.
So, some nuance. I agree that folks engaging with one another ought voice explicitly their expectations. So if she looking for marriage and I looking to she She should know that. But for the love of Black baby Jesus, can we please make some room, make some space for relationships that don't look like what society normalizes? Polyamory, no armory, a friggin' friendship, because those are normal things too. And so are two adults enjoying one another's company consensually without the possibility of marriage looming over their heads.
Number 5, accountability. Ooh. I analyzed my behavior and what parts of me resonated with these men I deemed problematic. I'm here to tell you that the call is coming from inside the house, and it's time to pick up.
This new offering from Britney left many of her newfound fans that enjoyed when she stood up to Myron and I forget the other boy name. It left them extremely crestfallen. The journey between these two Britneys seemed almost Canyon-esque in distance. Yet one may wonder if these two Britneys were ever a block between each other.
Perhaps she did always have like this belief, but less extreme. And what the whole Fresh and Fit was less about standing up for women and maybe just standing up for herself. Maybe it was more about ego and her as an individual. Perhaps she wasn't doing it from a feminist angle for women, but more just like, you don't get to insult me. Or you could say, if I'm being really cynical, it's a grift. I mean, being a woman who drinks the Manosphere juice, that sounds really weird. You're a token, right? It's like being... Yes. Candace Owen around a bunch of racist white people. I mean, they love her. They love her.
The women have now decided that promiscuity is a sign of freedom. So women are saying, we'll give it to you for free. We will have sex with whoever we want. We will take our clothes off whenever we want. Please explain to me how men are losing.
Men have wanted women to think that they want sex like we do. No, commitment is completely unnecessary. Oh, really? You gotta be kidding. The women bought the feminist lie. You're just like men. But they get depressed when they act like men.
You're a huge asset to that, and telling men what they want to hear, I imagine, is very lucrative. I wouldn't know because I don't tell them what they want to hear.
Not every femme is a feminist. My emendations of Britney's enumerated manifesto of man-hater in recovery have gone beyond the margins, when really this was just to illustrate the starting point of a rabbit hole that I bunnied myself into in hopes of understanding and apprehending the knowledge as to why would a femme regurgitate patriarchal points that are in direct contrast with her best interests. But more importantly, why I have a masculine urge to address this. Am I the right person to be making this video when videos like Chat Chats exist? Then it dawned on me. Of course I am. Because patriarchy has no gender. And for all of my palm-colored comrades, listen up. Let me let you in on a little secret. Let's set the scene. You watching a Khadija Umbo video or an FD Signifier video, and you see in the description a Will to Change by Bell Hooks. And giddily, you scour the page so you could find a quote that you could post on Twitter to show us that you are trying to decolonize your mind. But as soon as you attribute and ascribe the quote to a capital B and H Bell Hooks instead of a lowercase b and H Bell Hooks, congratulations, you just played yourself. It's the same self-report as pronouncing.
Did anybody hear that? Wait, did you hear me freaking out? I'm trying to make hummus, chat. I'm trying to make hummus. And I probably should have muted this first, right? I didn't realize I was. You better, yeah. Better know capitalization. So yeah, that's Bell Hooks, whose first name and last name are not capitalized, right? This fucking guy, right? Yeah, Dennis Prager. Oh my god, yeah. I have a really soft spot for old dudes just jabbering on. First time I heard Dennis speak, really threw me. You okay there, Granddad? I heard the buzzing. Yeah, that was NCC. That was my hummus. Look, I'm making hummus from HelloFresh. No, I mean, like, look, I'm gonna be making some. It's not hummus. It's like a Turkish chickpea. Would you call it a pilaf? What is the official name of this dish? Right? I got vegan. No, I can't. I don't have time to make this right now, right? But I got from HelloFresh vegan Turkish spiced chickpea bowl. All right. So this looks delicious, but the problem is it came with hummus. See the hummus drizzled on it? I ate the hummus. It was so good. It was so good, and I needed something, like I had, tortillas, and I needed something to dip the tortillas into, so I used the hummus. But now I don't have hummus, right? So I have to make the hummus to be able to make that. And I've been looking at this recipe, right, from HelloFresh. They gave me this recipe card. I think I can do this, right? I don't usually cook this fancy. Let me be honest with you, okay? The normal way that I have of cooking is that, like, I get like rice and beans or tofu. I throw it in like a rice cooker, right? And then I throw vegetables on top of that and maybe some like onions or something, right? And some like stock, like in instead of water to give it like that flavor, right? I do like such, like I don't do a lot when it comes to cooking. I'm pretty lazy, but it looks like with this recipe that they've given me, they're gonna make it kind of easy for me. Because they've broken it up into steps. So it's like cut the onions, cut the lemons, cut the parsley, cut the smash the pistachios, cut the garlic, right? And then you cook the rice along with the seasoning packets that they give you. So you cook the rice, and then this is the cool part. This is the part that like really like right. So you're cutting up the tomatoes and the onions and putting the chickpeas on like a cooking sheet and throwing that into the oven. And then making a sauce. Oh, you make the sauce. So you combine the hummus with the parsley and chives and olive oil and lemon. So that makes the sauce. And that's the sauce that ends up getting drizzled on top of there. So in order to make that sauce, I needed to make more hummus. And that's what you heard. That's what the sound was. I do have a 60% off deal right now if you want to check it out, if you want to cook along with me. Right, this is vegan. This is vegan and gluten-free. So, even if you're a picky eater like I am, there is something for you at HelloFresh. So, yeah, check it out. It's a little bit of a step up from, like, this is fancy compared to what I usually eat, compared to throwing everything in the rice cooker, and that includes my oatmeal. Like, when I make oatmeal, I just throw oatmeal the rice cooker, and I'm still going to use my rice cooker probably to cook the rice, because that's how I do it. But yeah, like this, I'm kind of excited to be able to like actually like roast some vegetables, right? Which I never would even think. So finish the rice, fluff it with a fork, toss in the veggies, and that's when you put on the sauce that you're making right here. So I think I got my mind around that. We'll try to do it at some point, but yeah, check it out. There's like a lot more that you can get. This is just one of the mini meals. This being the vegan Turkish spiced chickpea bowl, a lot fancier than what I normally eat. And I'll show you oatmeal in a rice cooker. Yeah. No, you should see how my oatmeal's weird. My oatmeal's super weird. I don't just make oatmeal. I make oatmeal with kale and berries and bananas and like oatmeal in a rice cooker. I mean, it works pretty well for me. Be a little careful though, right? Because like the one thing that you want to watch out for in the rice cooker is stuff bubbling over, right? So you kind of gotta watch it. But when I think that's why I put the kale in, is it stops it from bubbling over. That's not a HelloFresh thing. That's an NCC thing. I should do more NCC cooking, right? I should do more NCC cooking. But anyway, let's go on with this video. I gotta pee and get myself some coffee, and I will be right back. But I've been listening along with this, and yeah, the Foreign Man makes good videos, and this is the stuff that I should have had my eye on, right? The Femosphere is way more influential than I want to give credit for, and I can see what's going on here, right? They are applying the model from the Manosphere in like a different way, and all they have to do is kind of like put Pearl's face, put whoever's face over the words of a Jordan Peterson or whoever, and mission accomplished, right? No comment cooking, right? Just an electric steamer. I can see it now. Just never heard of it before. Yeah, I'm all about that. I never use pots and pans because, as you can see, I'm really like ADD. And if I put something in a pot and cooked it, I would forget to take it off and I would burn it. Foreign Man could make anything interesting. Well, I mean, this is not just interesting. Like, this is important stuff. And I feel like I've been remiss in not covering this. Fainted is Imam Fainted is a nice Imam Fainted is a nice vegan Turkish dish. I'll have to check that out.
This surname as Dubois rather than Du Bois. Is it pedantic? No.
Wait, didn't Vaush do that? He made no. I saw the Keffels thing. He made a joke that mentioned Keffels at one point. I had to rewatch it like 5 times to tell if he was making fun of her, wasn't he? He was making fun of Hassan a little bit for, always going to the, always being off of his. He's talking about Vaush. Wait, did I miss this? Yeah, Vaush literally said Dubois and then had to be, was really like incensed that Vaush is like, I know how to pronounce French names, and that's clearly a French name, and yeah. He's coming hard with this well-deserved shade.
Because I think it's performative. Much like these videos of pick-me's that I'm about to show you. You love the segue. Say you love the segue. Put in the comments that you love the segue.
I'm a fan of the segue.
It may be no surprise that I'm a fan of feminism, especially of the intersectional variety. But it may be more helpful to understand femininity first. And instead of me mansplaining it, I found it fit to ask femmes themselves what their idea of femininity was.
I would say femininity are the true being a keyword, qualities, characteristics of a woman, the very essence of our being, who God has created us to be.
Is something you can opt into sometimes. It could be in a...
Okay, I'm going to be listening along with you on my Bluetooth headphone as I take a much needed bathroom break, and I'll be right back.
Aesthetic. It's a variety of aesthetics right now. I am definitely someone who is like feminine presenting, I identify as a woman. To me, femininity still is like participating in like hair, makeup, dressing a certain way, certain like gendered colors that are gendered now.
I see femininity as the expectations around womanhood. And there are people who view femininity and masculinity as these kind of essences and these energies and these traits. And I would argue that we associate them with the genders, right?
Mm-hmm.
We think something's masculine because we associate it with men. We think something's feminine because we associate it with women, like the idea of nurturing and that kind of thing. Yes, men can be nurturing, but why is nurturing feminine? Why? Like, why is that the case?
I'm loving the plurality of these definitions because they garishly contrast with the analysis, if you could call it that, of someone like Matt Walsh. Because you asked three different women from different backgrounds what femininity is, and you'll get 3 different answers. Now, feminism, on the other hand, is defined by Webster as the advocacy of women's rights on the basis of equality of the sexes. But we know some nuance would render that definition a bit different. And I think that this is a semantic issue that caused a lot of men to take up issue with feminism in itself, because they see it as antithetical to their benefits as men. In political science, a frame of analysis that this could best be understood through is rational choice theory. And trigger warning for uttering the words of Adam Smith, but it could be traced back to him.
Recall the lessons of Adam Smith, father of modern economics.
In competition, individual ambition serves the common good.
Exactly.
Every man for himself, gentlemen.
And those who strike out are stuck with their friends.
Essentially, it assumes that human beings will behave in accordance with their best interests, or at least what they think it is. Ergo, if we look at men's relationship with feminism, one would ask, why would a man be interested in advocating for women's rights? And that's the problem with not only this interpretation, but rational choice theory in itself. Hot take. Because it's rooted in the opinion that for you to win, I must lose. It doesn't acknowledge the symbiosis of a disenfranchised group getting some enfranchisement. Imagine, bear with me now, just stay with me. Imagine if you enfranchise literally half of the working class. Even capitalism loves that. But the gangrene root that spouts many trees is the problem being patriarchy. From a realist perspective, and I'm speaking from the International Relations School of Thought, think Thomas Hobbes, who assumed that life was nasty, brutish, and short. This perspective assumes the worst of humanity. And from a realist perspective of this situation, patriarchy would snuff out feminism any chance it got, because it directly undermines the very foundation of patriarchy as it enfranchises femmes. So for men that enjoy their patriarchal privilege to the point where they would think they're being marginalized if it was taken away from them, how do you convince them to enfranchise femmes? Therefore, agents of patriarchy see people like Candace Owens and Pearl as useful to their mission of spreading patriarchy and reinforcing it and bolstering it. Thus, the patriarchal pick-me was born.
90%. You'll see one day, and I've talked to women about this flip. You'll hit 50 and you'll be invisible to men. And because 90% of the men that are talking to you are trying to sleep with you. Like, gain 100 pounds, you'll be invisible. Get to 55, you're invisible to men. And so
the feminist movement is considered very radicalized because there are many women, especially conservative women, who just don't feel that way. We don't feel burdened by children and marriage. Feminism has made it seem that there's something wrong with being a mother, that there's something wrong with being a wife.
This is another great point by Candace, and it's one that I really want to hone in on, because as much as I don't like the attack on masculinity, another thing that I really dislike is the attack on femininity. I feel like women get attacked just as much by radical feminists as men do. Because if you're a woman who has truly traditional values and you feel as though your sole purpose in life is to raise children, make no mistake, you are an enemy of the feminists. Just like we need men who are crawling through tunnels and fixing toilets and working at heights, we need women who are going to be nurturing good people.
It's no surprise to see Pearl's meteoric rise to fame in the wake of Andrew Tate, because it follows the exact blueprint of someone like Candace Owens. Yes, yet again, a black woman trailblazing trends, who, in this very last clip, was literally used as a mouthpiece, a pivot point for a white man to bolster patriarchy. And what is so repulsively repugnant is that he frames his grift as an altruistic concern for femininity. Because in this case, femininity constitutes an array of boxes to tick. And those boxes, after ticked, illustrate a particular picture that is in alignment more with desirability, the white feminine ideal, than femininity itself, a standard that a white supremacist and cis-normative society sets for femininity, which is a standard that is in direct correlation with an honorary, unimposing, and supplementary brand of womanhood. And that mold is thin, white, and little to no opinions, which is why I found it fit, pun intended, to talk with Tara. I wanted to know how she was treated by men in particular due to her proximity to the feminine ideal.
I have not always been comfortable with this because obviously I'm a white lady, and when you first hear about white privilege as a white person, you get defensive. Like, of course I went through that phase, whatever, when I was a teenager or whatever. Whereas now,
Gigantic Vaush deserves the L. Yeah. Like, I just sorry, Chad. I should have made food for myself before that. I thought I was just gonna power through, but apparently I did need at least some hummus and some more coffee. But this is a really good video. I've been listening along. Like I said, this is important stuff, and it's really cool to see foreign get it and be able to not only deconstruct the patriarchal narrative, but give a counter narrative to that, right? That is really cool.
I don't even bat an eye. I'm like, yeah, of course. Same with being able-bodied and thin.
Yeah.
However, the one that I still to this day am a bit like, I don't think I have this privilege.
That kind of looks like an NCC stream today, doesn't it? Like with all the
or if I do, I don't feel comfortable saying it. Pretty privilege. In a very British way, am like, that feels like the most obnoxious thing in the world to be like, I have pretty privilege. I suppose in admitting that you have it, it's not saying that you think you're hot shit and you're better than everyone else. It's what you were talking about earlier, is that you are closer to this feminine ideal. Like when I first joined YouTube, I was growing out a buzz cut and everyone assumed I was a lesbian, which I had no issue with because I was like, well, that's half true. I've noticed in that now that I've appeared more femme looking, I do get like more doors open for me and like more smiles on the street.
We stand the self-aware cow that finally made an appearance to assuage our concerns of her well-being. Understand that this is a joke. I am not calling Tara a cow, but it's important to understand how a paucity of benefits that femmes can get under patriarchy can be a very compelling deterrent to stop them from actually divesting in it altogether. Especially for white folks, because their investment in patriarchal white supremacist society is far deeper than other.
Yeah, I mean, I think she was pretty before too, but yeah, I mean, like, you know, whatever idea, like, you know what, you know how you're going to be like the most beautiful is by being beautiful to you.
Races. Thus, even with Tara's
cow producer is real. Yeah, people don't realize this.
Providing a difficulty for patriarchy to reconcile with, her countenance and corpus make her a prime candidate for patriarchal pick-me. But Tara opted out of the patriarchal pick-me pipeline, which is more than Pearl can say.
The average at best girl had been told she was average before, it wouldn't have been such a shock. If she actually had to deal with reality, she wouldn't have had to call into some random guy's YouTube show to be told she can't get a six-figure guy. But that's what happens when you let women live in delusion for too long, is they start thinking they're qualified for something they're not.
Wait, who's the average at best girl?
Pearl must have been possessed by the ghost of the late Kevin Samuels because she's literally parroting his words. Now, let me make a sharp transition to Daria's remarks on how men receive her, given her proximity to femininity.
Well, first I would say I don't think femininity is something that you just switch on and switch off. To say, I'm going to use this to get a resource or something. But I do believe in the whole idea of pretty privilege. I do. It's obvious.
I vaguely remember, I think it was a episode of Fresh and Fit where they were like telling some woman that she couldn't get a six-figure guy. Like, right? They were like, I hate to break it to you, but you're just not pretty enough to like. So that must be the average. Yeah, who determines who is average or not?
Is in the world. I would say me being.
Well, we got that's by privileging certain perspectives over other perspectives, right?
Fully immersed, or as much as I could be in femininity, has allowed me to get favors and benefits. So for me, I think a big part of realizing my femininity is becoming more gentle with people, a bit more graceful, and people are drawn to that because today that's kind of
so being real. When people see when people say average, good looking, or not pretty, right? I know that what they mean is they're not touting like a perspective as if it's objective, but what they are saying is like according to most people, but it's not really according to most people, because you know people have a wide and varied taste in terms of the way that other people look. It's according to, you know, certain people, right? So it's basically taking a privileged perspective, idealizing it, and then reifying that which it prizes, right? And feeding that back to us and telling us, look, you may think that this person's pretty and this person's not pretty, and this person's, you know, like, you know, somewhere in the middle, right? But in reality, let's be real, this is the real perspective. You're wrong. You're wrong. Your viewpoint is no good. You know, you are not the person standing at the crossroads of privilege. You are not the one who decides, right? And then they represent this as if like this is like the overwhelming majority. Okay, well, you're a weirdo, but most people, to most people, you know, this is the objective truth, right? So they create like an objective truth where it's kind of silly to think that there would be one, right? Vaush went after FD Signifier again. Yeah, he's just, you know, not only that, but he just like, he's mad. Okay, Vaush is mad. Okay, like that's a, you know, that's what the thumbnail says. The thumbnail still says still mad. The thumbnail before said Vaush mad, right? But I'm serious about this, right? Because when we saw him make that clip, he didn't just, you know, bitch about FD, which he did. He didn't just seem very jealous of FD, which he did, right? He got transphobic. He just randomly started saying, like, all this stuff was coming out of his mouth, right? Where he's basically saying, like, the majority of trans content creators only ever talk about being trans. And that this is psychotic, according to him. And You know, like he even kind of endorsed the idea that the left transes people, right? That the left's answer to men is just be trans, or right? It's some weird stuff that like, right when he gets mad, you see his true face, right? So that's why I love to cover Mad Vaush, right? It's in some ways I think it's more honest than normal Vaush.
Rare thing where when women
meow Shakespeare. He's mad. Oh, I don't want to watch him, but I want to watch him, but I don't know how. Well, that's in the VOD, and like, unfortunately, so for any of you just joining us, I had technical difficulties. All right. If you want to find that Vaush segment, it's in the first half, right? It's in the first segment, so you're gonna have to go back to the you know, if you don't know already, right? Go to my homepage, go to my channel, click home, scroll down to live streams, and you will find all of my live streams. So you'll find it there. That's one way to watch it, okay? And I appreciate that because, you know, I've got ads on that, so it kind of helps me. Another way to watch it is to subscribe to No Comment Clips, and then you'll get it as a video. You won't have to go to the channel page. So if you can't be bothered to do that, if you're not going to remember to do that, just subscribe to No Comment Clips, and you will get it. Will come out as a video. It will appear on your home feed, probably if you do that. And you'll be able to watch it that way. So, you know, whatever's easiest for you, or if you're on Twitch, maybe it's just easier for you to do it on that. Now, the Twitch VODs, I will warn you, are gate kept behind a paywall, right? So it's like and part of that is you know, because I need to get paid, and the other part of that is because there are sussy debate bros out there all the time trying to clip me, trying to turn me into content, like trying to monetize NCC, and I just don't want to make it easy for them. I mean, there's totally, like, they'll, if they want to do it, they're going to do it, right? I'm not going to be able to stop them, but I make it a little bit harder by making those by making the VODs on Twitch, you know, like the sub only. But, you know, if you want to find my VODs, like I said, the easiest and cheapest way to do that, you know, because like, I don't assume that everybody can afford a sub. I don't assume that everybody can afford a membership on YouTube. You can watch that on my YouTube channel by, you know, scrolling down to the live streams, or like I said, the YouTube clip channel, No Comment Clips. So, you know, that's how you're going to do that. Oh, do you want me to link you to No Comment Clips? I can do that. Yeah, let me do that.
now want to be so assertive and aggressive and out there and this big independence, but no, I don't really do that as much. It's there when I need it, but for the most part, I find that being gentle and calm-spirited, that's a big aspect that I'm working on and learning, has allowed me to get a lot of favors outside of beauty or my appearance. So yeah.
And keeping in mind that Daria and I are local to the Bahamas, white supremacy over here hits a little bit different. It's important to know how immersed the Caribbean is in social conservatism.
And for any of you who are just worried that you're not gonna get a sub, right? There's Young Black Economist with some community gift subs. Thank you so much, Young Black Economist. You just got 2 people. You know, that also gets you out of ads. So if you're getting those ads while you're watching Twitch, that's what that is, right? You can either hook up your Amazon Prime to Twitch and thereby you know, kind of watch for free, right? If you have Amazon Prime, you can spend $5 if you've got $5 to have the sub for yourself, or you can hang out here and make good comments, be smart, be quippy, be funny, and you're going to get noticed by somebody like Young Black Economist, Zara Xerix, or Jules, you know, who've all given out community subs today. So there's even a way to, you know, kind of get it out of the goodness of the hearts of those giving gift subs, which we value you so much for that. So yeah, thank you. Here, I'm gonna go ahead and like behind the scenes grab that clip channel link for you for anybody who wants to follow me on No Comment Clips.
And gender norms. Daria's comments on being gentle as radical in a society where independent and assertive women are normal sound similar to the points made earlier about the failure of feminism for femmes. The execration of not needing men and the lionization of conservative gender.
Wait, the execration? This is a word I'm not... Does anybody know execration? I've never heard that word before. I'm expanding my vocabulary. The execration?
Gender norms. And I want to be abundantly clear that this perspective is not unique to Daria, so I will not be tolerating any misogyny. Black people across the diaspora have been endowed with colonial ideals that have manifested into today. And I want to put an emphasis on endowed, because we did not come up with this. And even with independence, we still cling to these colonial ideals. This is your reminder that colonizers created these dogmas in order to better subjugate people. And this makes for a much more arduous and laborious battle, because no longer are you trying to fight with the very obvious white supremacists. You're fighting with people that look like you. And these internalized colonial attitudes are also why particular groups of people, such as the passport bros, idolize and lionize women that are not local to the United States. Because there's this notion that, like Daria being a Caribbean woman, they have not internalized the feminist waves that have tainted American or European women. Which is why it's no surprise that Pearl denigrates Western women.
Like, must watch. Western women, we're not ride or dies. It's like one problem and we're out. And especially, like, you didn't even emotionally cheat. How do we expect? But like, I don't think you could really expect monogamy.
I don't think he's not emotional.
I don't think you can expect monogamy if you're not a virgin. Like, I think you deserve monogamy if you're a virgin, but if you're not, like, you're kind of cheating on your future husband.
I think.
But not only is this not true, due to the matriarchal girl boss mentality many Caribbean women have had to cultivate due to institutions such as the Project, which removed Bahamian men out of the household in order to work in Florida, ergo leaving Bahamian women to fend for themselves off the little to no remittances from those displaced workers. But beyond that, these self-proclaimed patriarchal alpha males can't even live up to the standard that they set for themselves. They are not the parodies of masculinity that they advertise. And they're definitely not the beacons of capitalist adeptitude that they claim to be. Because a passport bro got stranded in the Dominican Republic and he had to grift his way back to the United States. You gotta watch this with me. Come, let's watch
basically,
this.
I need a cash app, guys. I need a cash app. What up, y'all? I'm here, still in DR. I missed my flight last night. I just got off the phone with Spirit. I'm waiting on them to call me back.
Okay, so I'm going to give you a link right now. This is the link to No Comment Clips. That's a channel that I talked about before. That's like the easy channel. Like, right, what I'm saying by that is if you subscribe to this, you will probably see these videos in your homepage, right? Or your subs feed if you still, most people don't really look at their subs feed, but if you look at that, you'll see them there too, right? So those videos will go out to you. Those are easy to find, right? You don't have to go to the channel to go looking for stuff all the time. That's the nice thing about No Comment Clips. Then I'm going to give you, let's see, let me give that to YouTube as well. Here we go. Here we go, YouTube. Boom. There is your copy of that link. So you can subscribe to me on No Comment Clips. That's the easy mode. I'm also going to grab in the background right now the playlist of live streams. If you want to watch it on No Comment Check, now that means you have to go to the channel or bookmark the here's a good idea. Bookmark the playlist. That makes it kind of easy. If you bookmark the playlist, then you'll always see when a new video is coming out. So here we go.
It's $100 reschedule fee. Basically, I need a cash app, guys. I need a cash app to try to get this fee together, man. I'm so sick right now. I'm sick as hell. I've been trying to call Kayla because I know she's like in the area. So I was trying to call her to like set something up to where I can get like some actual money because I'm hungry. I have very little bread left. I maybe got like $15.
All right, well, there we go. There's the playlist for the VODs. So if you missed the VOD, right, or you missed, the earlier part of the VOD, right, you can check back on that and you can watch it later. That's got ads on it, so like it helps to support me. You don't need a membership or anything like that, So like if you don't have a Twitch sub or a membership, that's kind of the easy mode for that. But it's not going to come into your feed automatically. So again, like bookmark this. This is the playlist for the VODs if you want to keep up to date on the VODs that are going down. Because most of my videos, I'll be honest with you, are VODs now, right? I'm mostly streaming right now. I'm trying to get out some videos too as quickly as I can. But yeah, there's a lot to catch up with the VODs. And if you like, what's up, Nabil? Good to see you. Meow. Loving the The Void Coffee. Yeah, that is by Vamps. That is by my thumbnail artist, Vamps. The lovely and talented Vamps makes that thumbnail. If you're enjoying the Weasel emote, makes that thumbnail, makes that emote. If you're enjoying the Weasel emote, that is a Buffy geek emote, right? So thank Buffy for that one. And yeah, so many cool emotes. Oh yeah, like I think Buffy also made the no comment chick dancing as well as the meow emote. Yeah, Vamps is awesome. Vamps will be here at probably we'll see Vamps in a few minutes. Right? So
I'm just calling on the subscribers now to see.
What is with the Void Coffee? Let me show you. What is with the Void Coffee indeed? Do you see the need for Void Coffee? Void Coffee. That's where it comes from.
Can I get another 100 to
It's important to note that not every woman is a feminist. Feminism is not the default. Not every action or word by a woman is a feminist action or word. In fact, as Bell Hooks argued in A Will to Change, many women uphold patriarchy. But you see many people on social media attributing the term feminist to people like Brittany Renner without actually understanding and comprehending the term in itself, which is why we have choice feminism. And choice feminism essentially stipulates that any choice that a woman makes is feminism. No analysis, no thought process, just vibes, which can grant authority to ideas and concepts that are rooted in regressive patriarchy, but coming from a woman's mouth. Putting people like myself in a very precarious situation because would I look like arguing with a femme about feminism or femininity, which is a fair criticism until you understand the patriarchy.
Now, this is funny because it almost mirrors. Do you see how this is mirroring the concept you'll hear from Vaush and the Debate Bros a lot of times when they talk about identity politics, right? Well, I'm not allowed to disagree with a woman or else I'm sexist. I'm not allowed to disagree with a black person or else I'm racist. Like, this is like, this is a, what do I want to call it? It's a reductivist version of what, feminism actually is, right? And this is what he's talking about. Now, that's not what intersectional feminism is, because intersectional feminism is not reductionist. Intersectional feminism recognizes the complexity of intersections, recognizes that oppression isn't additive, nor is privilege additive. It's more of a multiplicative kind of thing, right? When we're at those intersections where, like we're talking about, we're gonna try to go over Soul Bunny's video, talking to FD Signifier about transmisogynoir, right? Transmisogynoir is especially complex and especially destructive because you're not just at like two intersections of somebody being black, a woman, but also being trans, and like understanding that, right? Understanding how oppression hits different at those intersections versus just like trying to say, okay, well, I kind of know what oppression a woman faces. I kind of know what oppression a trans person faces, and I kind of know what oppression, like I kind of know about racism, right? And you add those up, you're not really getting the full picture there. That's why intersectionality is a little bit more complex, but I don't think it's too complex for us to handle. And I think that if you're, what you're trying to do is build a coalition, you need to be able to handle that, right? One of the selling points of debate bro leftism, of loser leftism, is they don't even entertain those thoughts, right? That's too complex. It's a hard sell. They don't want to mess with it, right? They want to pander to ignorance, really, is what they're doing, right? I don't really like ASMR, so maybe that's why. Mukbangs. Oh my god, am I ASMRing you with the mukbang? Am I mukbanging you with the ASMR? But I'd love to see people snacking out. Well, I can mute. Like, muting is easy, right? If I remember.
Has no gender, nor does femininity, nor does masculinity. But stick a pin in that because I want to discuss femininity as currency. Can't believe I'm saying this. But let's talk about soft life.
Hey you guys, this is how to live the soft life. Okay, so I want to make a quick message for people who are struggling through their soft girl era.
I read a quote today that said, caring for myself is not self-indulgence, it's self-preservation.
Soft life, aka black girls in luxury, aka the divestment community, low-key. Let's get into it. Many black femmes have been subscribing to this movement as of late.
At first, I thought it was just something that like desirable women, usually lighter skin, that participate in like, glam and beauty and just black girl luxury. We're kind of rebranding that into soft life. Like, oh, we want to, black women, we're so tired of being strong. We need to be soft kind of thing.
If you ask Vaush what trans misogynoir was like, he'd be like, oh yes, I am the expert on that film genre.
So that's what I thought it was. And then till I found out that it was like a Nigerian term. Some people, I don't know if Nigerians use it like this, but they use these terms like soft life in order to justify capitalism. And it's so weird because it's like you're still working a lot. Like you're soft life, you're black girl luxury, but you're posting content 24/7. You gotta go get your hair done. Like, when does the soft life actually start sometimes?
Leave it to a channel by the name of Fab Socialism to basically say that soft life is capitalism. But she right though. It's patriarchal capitalism with a filter. Patriarchal capitalist core. And Tiana is so right because
mukbangs are often ASMR or over-the-top food. People just eating without having to draw, without having any draw is different.
Soft life requires hard work.
No,
one way or another.
For me, it's just like when I don't have time to do this stuff before stream.
Do y'all be selling pussy? I just want to know. Do y'all soft life girls be selling pussy? Because how do y'all do nothing but y'all have everything? How y'all always in Chanel and Birkins, but you ain't selling that booty? Like, I want y'all to come on here sometimes and tell the truth, because y'all got these girls glorifying this soft life lifestyle when y'all be doing.
Thank you for the sub. Thank you for communist invading. Thank you for being a communist invading radical in my YouTube channel. Nola, welcome to the stream.
Hard time in that bed wearing that pussy the fuck out.
So I spoke with Daria, a femme that subscribes to the soft life. And it was interesting to listen to how she reconciled with living a soft life that she provides for herself because she's single.
Baby, I'm a soft girl and I am single.
But how do you have a soft life if it's not being taken care of?
That's not the only basis of being in the soft life. Like I said, it's a mindset. You can take care of yourself. It's wellness. It's confidence. I think a part of it will be dating someone in your standard or your range.
Can we just say the anti-SW shit is awful? Yeah, absolutely.
So it could be like a mutual thing. I feel like in a lot of relationships where girls feel like they're in their masculinity, outside the soft life is when they're providing and doing everything on their own. Because
whether it's coming from mean girls on Twitter or wherever,
they're not with someone, they're not in sync with somebody where it could be a mutually beneficial relationship. It's very one-sided. But for the soft life also can vary, because for me, I'm like I said, I'm single, but I feel like I'm still in myself. Like, I'm well taken care of. I take care of myself, but mentally, I am in a place where I'm at peace. I feel like I exude my femininity. I'm well immersed in that. But the soft life could look different for someone who's with a person. For them, the whole well taken care of, I'm a flower type of thing. It's based on your standard, I would say.
So essentially, this boils down to a game of semantics. Thanks, postmodernism. Many soft life subscribers achieve this lifestyle through a method that is old as time itself, and that is hypergamy.
I asked someone the other day, we were talking about this, and I asked him, would you want your daughter to date someone that can't take care of her? And he was like, no. I said, so why are you bashing women for choosing to get security? Why are you bashing? Think of it. If your daughter brings you someone who has, I don't want to discredit man, but no job, probably no car, and doesn't have a vision for themselves, you want your daughter dating that? And he was like, no. I said, so why are you saying women, she only after the money? Why are you getting mad at that? If I want security, if I'm choosing to have a life where I'm secured, love, I'm sorry, is not enough for marriage. You gotta be able to take care of me and support me. That is also a part of your job. Like, that's just what it is. Of course, I'm able to provide for myself. I'm not saying it's a one-sided thing, but I'm also saying I don't like how people ridicule women for choosing a standard of their life. If you can't provide,
most of the dudes who talk about hypergamy are literally just Butlaman.
Then move on, but don't ridicule someone for what they choose.
I wholeheartedly agree that the gold digger accusations are very overblown. It is a well-known manospheric pain point where men frame women as bursary black holes, only satisfied by a financier. And the men that are discussing this are hypothetically and hyperbolically talking about a scenario and fear-mongering it because it is not as widespread as they claim that it is. That being said, we see a particular adherence to gender norms in this analysis. It is your job.
Okay, so let me explain this. This is some, like, I know about hypergamy. Like, there's a lot that I'm learning from this too, right? A lot of these terms are like new to me, and I'm just like wrapping my mind around them, right? Hypergamy is a concept that you'll hear talked about in the manosphere, right? And the idea is that like women, wait, isn't hypergamy just basically that women are only entertaining the idea of having sex with a small, like the tip top of the desirable men out there, right? I think that, am I right about this? This is what hypergamy is. So, you know, if you hear PUA, red pill type dudes talk about the cock carousel, they're talking about hypergamy, right? And this is like an incel mindset kind of thing, right? And you know, this will justify a lot of the incel logic, right? Is that they say that only 20% of men out there are actually, you know, getting any, you know, and that like they blame this on women being shallow. They blame this on women being like superficial. They blame this on women being gold diggers, and it justifies a lot of black pill mentality. It justifies a lot of incel, you know, mentalities, right? It's a pretty destructive set of beliefs, right? To look at the world through a hypergamous lens, right? The action of marrying or forming a sexual relationship with a person of superior sociological or educational background. That is hyper. There we go. Thank you. It's me, Natalie Marie. That's the real definition. I've understood it as marrying up, pretty much. It's like a crash course in the discourse in black spaces surrounding feminism for the last few years. Batlan is another way of saying incel, essentially. I did not know that. I'm learning a lot tonight, right? Hypergamy is also discussed in women's spaces, as I heard it used as one who stays with a single partner. Wait, that's hypergamy? Or is that like monogamy? Hypergomy. Wait, is that a different thing than hypergamy? Hypergamy, oh my god, now I just imagined gammy but hyper. Anyway, not all of you know who Gammy is, and not all of you need to know who Gammy is. But if you know Keffels is, you know, be patient with me, I'm autistic hat. That hat is a reference to a very toxic trans Twitter account who's much less influential than she used to be, and that's all we'll say, because I am not Gammy's hype woman.
To provide as a man.
Hyper
Many of
blue
you
hat.
already
Yeah,
know
there we go.
that this is a conservative talking point.
No.
No.
I thought that maybe that was a separate word in Dragon. I thought that maybe that was like let me be real, okay? A lot of these terms I'm not super familiar with, right? This is stuff that I kind of need to understand because it's in the discourse, right? But like, you know, when you said that, I literally thought that maybe there was like a separate word, right? Because sometimes that's how these words work, is you just change one letter and the definition changes. So monogamous, yeah, monogamous. I've heard that used interchangeably, probably. I don't know either. Like, yeah, right, exactly, Raven. Damn you, English language. It's not easy. It's not easy for me either. I'm struggling as well
in religious doctrine, which shouldn't be a surprise because Daria said herself that she has grown up and still is a fervent Christian. And let me be clear, I bear no qualms with these adherents to gender norms, so long as it's an option and not a demand.
If the main focus isn't, am I compatible? Do I love this person? Do I enjoy being with? If it stops being about the person and about what they have. As you say, that threatens the fundamentalism of the relationship. I think another thing that's dangerous about the whole, okay, hypergamy, here's how you get a rich man, and this comes from both women that advise it and men who advise it, is that you are expected to pay a price. Okay, yeah, you get this nice life, but the price is you have to be endlessly anxious about your body. You have to spend loads of money, you know, and time on your beauty routine. And that's something I observed in the stay-at-home girlfriend trend, that they were very fixated on keeping up their appearance because they're like, well, my boyfriend's out working, the least I could do is be this. And as you say, being treated badly and cheated on, like that clip with Britney on Fresh and Fit.
Yeah.
How Myron was saying, you know, well, you've got a rich man. In return, you've just got to accept the fact he's going to sleep with other people. If you are someone who aims to be self-fulfilled, you don't have to settle as much in relationships because you are self-sufficient and you are independent. And that's why I think that should be encouraged to women. Like, get your own savings, make your own money, and therefore you can have more freedom on who you get to pick to be with, and you get to be with them because you want to, not out of necessity.
I often think of my nana and my dada as an example of a hypergamous relationship. And not to pick on my grandfather, because he immigrated from Turks and Caicos at 16 on a floating door and came to the Bahamas so that he could provide a better life for not only himself, but his family. And my nana stood by his side even until the bitter end. In fact, after the end. But that position entailed a litany of abuse and hardships. And I worry that women that are showcasing this profligate lifestyle are not showing the rest of the frame. And a great example of these hypergamous femininity models are people like Lori Harvey. For years, Miss Harvey has been in the limelight for reasons unbeknownst to me, outside of her relation to her stepfather, Christian chauvinist, trigger warning, Steve Harvey.
Oh, geez.
Men cheat because women allow them to. Elaborate.
I mean, you know, look, women ask that question all the time. You know, that's one of the biggest questions. You know, why do men cheat? But I mean, it's really because there are so many women out there willing to cheat with them.
Hi, my name is Debbie DeHunt. How do you get your husband to stop nagging you?
Oh, very good question.
Her husband nags.
Yeah.
That's new.
You're taking, if I might be so bold, a sexist position that only women are nags. Not for nothing, Steve, but that's...
Well, Joy...
That's what I'm hearing.
Maybe the position I'm taking is maybe you should check your husband's man card.
His man card?
Well, just maybe he's not the rough and tough and tumble guy you thought you married. What's he nagging for?
What are you saying?
Because men aren't supposed to nag, is what I'm saying.
You're an attractive woman. There are some guys somewhere saying, yeah, we're friends. No, that's not true. He's your friend only because you have made it absolutely clear that nothing else is happening except this friendship we have. We remain your friends in hopes that one day there'll be a crack in the door, a chink in the armor, and trust and believe that guy that you think is just your buddy, he will slide in that crack the moment he gets the opportunity.
And you think
we're
most
guys.
men think this way?
99.9% of us think that way.
Lori Harvey is known for her proximity to some of the most
Oh my
eligible
God.
bachelors
Oh my God.
in
Oh my
Hollywood.
God.
She's controversial for doing exactly what men have been doing
Reactionary men never change.
for eons. She goes on dates with people in her circle, a circle that is populated by mostly rich celebrities.
Steve Harvey looks like Potato Head. You cannot change my
While
mind.
Lori gets a lot of flack for simply engaging with men in a public fashion,
It's a
I grip my
self-report.
pearls. Her proximity to the
Self-report.
feminine ideal allows for her to be a de facto ambassador for black girl luxury.
Lori is also kind of short, and I think we've seen this with Megan Thee Stallion. Megan Thee Stallion is like, if she was not like my height, which is 5'10", she probably would be seen as someone who's more like deserving of care if she wasn't bigger than a lot of like other women and other men. Because though like I'm not necessarily dark skinned, like I'm a brown skinned woman. But I feel like my height has contributed to why so many people give me this maturity I never had to work for. Like, I just so happen to be mature, but everybody thinks like, oh, I'm the smartest, I'm the best because I'm taller. So they just think like I'm more mature. If I was like 5'2", people would probably just think I'm a regular girl. Because Lori Harvey, she's short, she's like slim, thick, kind of. She used to be thicker. She lost a lot of weight. Then people were trying to do the things she did to lose weight. And the way she was eating was little to nothing in order to lose more weight, which was a problem there. Not trying to diagnose her, but like the fact that she was also aspiring to an ideal was so ridiculous. And then she already comes from a family with so much money. And again, like you said, she's gonna have eligible bachelors that other people will never have access to. They like to tell girls, go get a drink in a fancy hotel and sit by the bar. Go to like fancy events. Similar to with Meghan Markle. Meghan Markle met Harry because she was able to afford certain Wimbledon tickets to even be seen by him in a like miraculous seat. Like, what? These things are not by an accident. You don't just accidentally bump into all the men that Lori Harvey has bumped into. Lori Harvey's mom, she's also a part of that too, of like kind of dating up. Like her mom is like this like lighter skinned, kind of desirable woman, I feel like, for people like Steve Harvey. Like he says she walked in a room and he immediately knew he was going to marry her. Why? Because she was desirable, not because it was her aura. You saw her skin, her eyes, her straightish hair. Lori Harvey barely even has a curl pattern. So it's like, I'm sure Lori Harvey's mom was like, you know, you're my daughter. This is some of my advice. This is how I got this rich man. Here's what you can do to get a rich man. And Lori Harvey has dated nothing. Like, this is the biggest thing that I think women sleep on, is going for men who are football players, like international football players. They are so rich. Like, people who play football, like, they are richer than NBA players will ever be. Any football. So rich. And guess who's Lori Harvey was ever first engaged to?
I'm learning so much. Okay, football players, those are the... Now we're talking about like international football, so like, right, or soccer. Other way to say that, right?
A football player. She was doing it before people even knew.
If you're 5'2", they treat you like a child, not a regular girl. From what I'm seeing, that's true. I'm a tall woman, and men treat you different if you're short or tall.
This was where
she does mean an NFL.
Money really was. This girl is not. Exactly.
Is football just that much more popular?
She is not basic by any means. She don't need no coaching. She know what she's doing. So the fact that now people whose parents can't even pay for a medical emergency think they're going to have some sort of same track record.
It is difficult for even the most beautiful black femme by European beauty standards to achieve the feminine ideal due to how baked in anti-blackness is to that prototype. Ergo, Lori Harvey has to be twice as talented in the white supremacist hypergamous game in order to get but a modicum of what white femmes have been getting for years. And this is
6'1" here, and my life would be so much better if I was 5'4".
Even with the well-resourced spawn point that she came from, she is still met with scathing criticism and Jezebel connotations reserved only for black femmes that date publicly in the spotlight. I take it back. It's not a spotlight. It's a target. And this point is only bolstered when looking at someone like Asia Doll, a dark-skinned black female rapper who does similar things to Lori, whilst also boasting accolades that Lori doesn't have, like an actual music career, yet garnering many a misogynoir and microaggressions from black and white people alike.
As well as it being colorism, I think another difference with how Lori and Asia are treated is that the rap aesthetic, and I'm sure there's like racism and classism in that, the rap aesthetic is not as respected. And I think female rappers aren't seen as feminine because rap is seen as like a man thing, even to this day. Female rappers, like by nature, they're literally speaking up. And people, I'm sure a lot of men and women see that and they're like, why is a woman talking so much?
Racial capitalisms have commodified coupling.
Like, should I not be talking so much?
And mediums such as Tinder and Grindr have only exacerbated that. While they definitely have democratized options for courtship across the world, these dating apps have also facilitated the devaluation and alloyment of romantic interest in itself. We may lament
she ate that for real. There is a Mexican movie that talks about this vis-a-vis racism in Mexico, etc.
on the struggle that many men have claimed that they've had, where these dating apps have basically rendered them invisible. But we don't acknowledge how femmes have now had to cater to an interface that actively debases them. And with any social failing, the brunt is bore by black femmes. In a dating industry where black femmes are disproportionately marginalized. To find a reprieve, an oasis, from the shark-infested dating pool, some femininity gurus
do not mention Grindr. The evil has been released. The evil's been released.
Black femmes to divest in particular demographics in order to better their living circumstances. Listen to me. There are literal courses that are teaching black femmes how to procure white cishet men. There are videos that say if you are pregnant with a black boy, abort him. Lord, I could get demonetized. And if you've watched this video that I've made on interracial dating, then you know that that comes with a litany of
Grindr is super racist. I've heard that too.
Different concerns. However,
when on Grindr, out of curiosity, once the first pick I ever got was a
certain like black women that do end up with white men, like a variety.
Isn't that all dating apps? Look, I'm a streamer. I can't use dating apps. Like, right? I just too many things can go wrong if I get on a dating app.
Different types of black women that do end up with white men, and it's just interesting. Like, you can't even say that radical black women don't, and then like uncritical conservative black women do. It's like a bunch of people for different reasons, and it's interesting. In real time, we're seeing people who have been hurt or who have been like just so caught up in white supremacy, and then they're just making content, especially with black women. I think like black women sometimes have to make the best of what they have in terms of like, if someone is really open to like loving you in a way that isn't like harmful, then who cares who that is?
I hold space for femmes that have been hurt and essentially are looking to support groups in order to heal. But much like manospheric manholes that end up augmenting the anger rather than attenuating it, these spaces won't save you. There is a demand for repackaged patriarchy disguised as femininity. It's familiar, and it harks back to a time that you could look at nostalgically in rose-tinted lenses. The stay-at-home girlfriend trend disguising their demands like hate working, come back to the kitchen, be taken care of by a provider like God intended. And yet again, I do not poo-poo people that subscribe to traditional gender norms and relationships. In many ways, I'm in one right now. I support my wife and I as she pursues her degrees, much to her own protest and displeasure, because she's been an independent black woman her whole life. She's been working longer than I have. And she's been raised to be independent so that men could not weaponize that power imbalance in a relationship. And if you speak to a lot of black femmes, you would realize that this is not unique. Whereas white femmes have historically been sent to college so that they could procure their engineering husband so that they don't have to work. It seems like black women knew that that wasn't a reality that they can rely on. And I could understand the envy of black
I didn't know he was married either.
femmes who see white femmes seemingly benefit from patriarchy.
A lot of people never tried a dating app. Yeah.
And reaping the rewards of their docile femininity. But what is not shown is the abject and tangible dangers associated.
I have, but it was like, when I was going to school and not streaming.
Associated with financial dependency on men. The woman of yore never complained, nor did they show their scars. They licked them in private. I know my nana never did. And even to this very day, you can't say a word.
Dating apps are boring.
About my grandfather. There's an investment of both parties in these power imbalance relationships to make it seem more luxurious than it actually is. And to make it worse, this new wave of patriarchy disguised as femininity has a progressive tint to it. Remember the I don't dream of labor trend? Remember the anti-capitalist bent it had to it? Did you realize that the solution to address this problem was a conservative one? Instead of femmes exclaiming that they don't dream of labor and then attacking capitalism, they instead embraced the soft girl era. the stay-at-home girlfriend. So one may think that we got this social revolution, but it wasn't what we needed. And all this at the risk of bastardizing feminism. It is imperative that we understand that feminism for everyone means something. It means we need to understand what it means, what patriarchy entails, the roles we play in it, and how we can try and navigate a new life. These social movements reveal how often our hashtags and Twitter campaigns are co-opted.
Oh my god, I hella benefit from white femme privilege sometimes, but it has a huge drawback in that white dudes think I'm approachable. If I work service jobs, I get held hostage for conversations. I hate it. I want to be left alone.
Like the femmes that have co-opted femininity and turned into gurus that peddle patriarchy disguised as altruism for femmes. The thinly veiled dog whistles become plangent bugles as soon as the femininity performed is not patriarchy approved. Anyone can wield femininity, masculinity, any inity, because they're social constructs that we have made. Anytime you hear, as a man you should, or as a woman you should, please clothespin their mouths, because the dependent clause that follows may be noisome and may cause sickness or worse, much like the vitriol that unctuously oozed like slime all across my timeline in the wake of A$AP Rocky and Rihanna's magazine cover, as well as Jonathan Major's ebony photo shoot. Discourse ensued on the Muskian hellscape known as Twitter about how these images are signifiers, signs of the times that black men are being emasculated, which I have many thoughts on. Hence my video, The Sassification of Black Men. Foreign, you probably bellowed. I desperately need to hear your takes on this controversial hot button issue, but I can't seem to find the video on your channel. Well, my big and be them woman them and man them. That is because it is on my streaming service, Nebula. You gain access to exclusive videos like Philosophy Tube's Magnum Opus, The Prince, or exclusive bonus cuts from your favorite creators like Innuendo Studios or Neo. Stop! There's a sneak preview of the Nebula cut of this video after this boy finished talking his skullduggery. But most of all, you get to fight for the most marginalized alongside me. Because, but for your support of sponsors like Nebula...
So glad I have the aura of a genderless demon. Men fear me.
I wouldn't be able to talk with you like I do. And if you sign up with my link right now, you get access to Nebula classes for free, where you can learn how I tell my stories, how Wendover persuades you, or how real life lore goes viral with mops. I'm obviously in the wrong niche. Tap on my link to get a 40% discount on annual plans that get as low as $250 a month. And tap there to learn.
Chad, I feel like there's like so much more advertising in my future.
More about this topic. I can see it there.
You can tell like right when I like advertise HelloFresh, I'm not like super. This is just, you know, I'm not super polished, not super practiced in it, but yeah, if I could ever help you out with a deal, it helps me out as well.
You are now watching the Nebula Cut.
That's why it pisses me off when you see manosphere weirdos moan about this. They're like, this guy got sick and his wife left him. Women suck. But then they'll also, in the same breath, say, okay, a man, you just got to get someone hot with a tight bod. Blah. Women, you just need to stay at home and get a rich guy. And I'm like, do you not see how you're creating this?
It's been enough of a teeth pull for me to just say like and subscribe, which you definitely should like and subscribe. Oh my god, what's going on there? Am I really like I gotta check and make sure. Anyway, Adin Ross. Chat, I'm thinking we're gonna have to do the Vaush thing. I might stream tomorrow. I don't usually stream on Tuesday. But like, okay, I am there. I do want to cover that Vaush video. That sounds important. Hasanabi destroys Adin Ross? When did this happen? Alright, so Adin Ross banned on Twitch. I'm gonna try to not actually watch him on stream. It looks like Hasanabi's going down the rundown of his Yeah, he got banned. Oh, Soul Bunny. Soul Bunny, yeah. Should we do Soul Bunny first? Trying not to stare at this woman's perfect ass, but not succeeding.
Look, you're losing your grip on relevancy. What do you got to do? You got to turn around. You can't go to Japan because you could do that as well. Honestly, that's probably what you should do. It's a way healthier way to deal with like, fear of falling off. Just go to Japan. Everything you do is content in Japan. Okay. Every experience you have is content in Japan. But instead of doing that, he would act like Jake Paul in Japan. He's losing that bag if he didn't sign that kick deal. Yeah. And it's the funniest take because it's like there are only two genders take is like, this shit would have banged in like 2014. You know what I mean? XQC fighting his chat saying Adin is correct. Ooh, the GOAT, my king, my woke king. Anyway, he hit the 2014 ass like there are only two genders. Like trans people don't even get.
Yeah, so this is what you've been seeing a lot with Adin Ross, right? Now the dude is what, he's like 21 years old or something like that, right? So he wasn't around for Gamergate. He wasn't around for the alt-right Trump are the Donald shit. I don't think, at least he wasn't political back then, right? This guy famously made a clip where he was unable to pronounce the word fascism. So more like apolitical than anything else. But yeah, he became a acolyte of Andrew Tate's. Was Tate's big, host on Twitch. And since he's been on Trainwreck's streaming platform Kick, he's been doing more and more catering to that alt-right demographic. Obviously, he's still a big Tate stan. I think did he go out to Romania to actually see Tate? I think he hung out with Tate in Romania, and he's just been writing Tate for all he's worth. And part of garnering that audience, I guess, these ride or die chuds is like saying stuff like there are only two genders, and worse than that, right? So yeah, what did he get banned for? It's hard to tell, right? Because he hasn't been streaming on Twitch. Has not been on Twitch. He has been on Kick. The official line on his ban speaks to something that he did on Twitch, but I can't figure out what it was, and he won't tell, right? He had a chance. He was asked about that, and he said his legal team advised him against answering that question. So we don't know why he was banned off of Twitch, but we do know that some of the stuff that he's been doing on Kick is super yikes. This is a guy with an average, age in his audience around 14 or 15. Dude is watching porn on stream. Unironically, Kick is the Wild West, apparently. And Adin Ross is there, like, he famously against porn. I think he's even against like masturbation, right? Isn't he one of the nofap kind of dudes, right? But he was like, yeah, I don't really like porn, but you want to watch some porn? Here, we'll watch some porn, and watch his porn with his chat. He also watched a Nazi ukulele girl sing about how she's standing in front of a German World War II swastika flag, and sing about how she's not a Nazi, and then goes on to, go off on like 20 different Nazi talking points. So, weird dude seems to be pivoting, but I don't know what his game is, right? Kick is not the kind of platform that Twitch is. They give you a 95% cut of what you earn, but the audience is like way smaller. And I'm a little bit like unclear as far as like if he already signed the deal, the exclusivity for Kick, like getting banned on Twitch makes sense, right? It gets him in the limelight, gets him controversy. He was trending earlier this morning based on getting banned, and like that could make sense, right? Because if he's got his contract locked in, then he's all good. But if he doesn't, if he's having to sign that contract now after getting banned, do you understand? We're talking about leverage. We're talking about his leverage with Kick to get that bag. And once he's banned on Twitch, it's not as good, because Kick then knows we don't have to compete with Twitch, right? Oh my god, I'm seeing my frames die again. This is frustrating. How are you doing, chat? Let me check it back in with chat again. How are we doing? Are we like losing frames here? Hopefully the bandwidth is going to play nice with us. Sorry about all the Ostenox had a really good thread on Adin's first kick stream. He's chilling with Nazis like Booger Nick. Hey, can you send? Okay, first of all, Globitz, can you send me that? Or can somebody send me that? And second of all, I just have to avoid. I'm gonna try to avoid video of audio is cool. What about the video? Is the video kind of slow? I'm guessing, right? The video's like we're probably dropping frames here. Yeah, I can tell we're dropping frames. We're losing frames due to the curse, right? Well, I'm not even talking about panty stocking and garter belt. Gets a little blurry once in a while, but the sound is okay. Me too. For confirming your rightness. I unsubbed from Saberspark 3 years ago because I was drunk and he liked a Trump cartoon? What? Okay, I did not know that. Saberspark is legit a chud. Okay, well, I mean, that explains a lot then, right? I thought it was weird, you know, the degree to which he was kind of like, you know, the degree, he had a little too much charitability for panty stocking and garter belt. And this is coming from somebody who, like, I like the art style. I like, you know, some of the artists and the you know, company involved with that, but yeah, I'm aware of their issues, and I feel like those issues have never been more pronounced than with panty stocking and garter belt. I haven't used Kick since high school. Wait, Kick was around back then? I thought it was. I thought we were talking about. Yeah, we already went over Saberspark. We actually got through Saberspark. Oh, looks like my bandwidth is coming back. I don't know what's going on. Wasn't he going to get... He's wanting to interview Kanye. And I think that's what Ostenox was talking about, too. Ostenox was saying that, like, you know, this seems to be him, like, courting, you know, Kanye. And Kanye really probably is not that hard to get now, right? Can you update the now and... Oh my god, are we still on... Yeah, good point. Yeah, I still have that PSG down there. So, next is... Yeah, so I might cut out a little earlier than normal tonight, and then I'm going to be doing a stream tomorrow to go over the Vaush stuff and clean up the rest of it to do the Ron DeSantis versus Disney thing if I don't get to it tonight. And right now we're doing Adin Ross Band. Adin Ross Band. Yeah, I actually did not know that Saberspark was a chud. I mean, it kind of makes it... I mean... It makes sense now, right? Rumor was that he was banned for hate-filled, unmoderated chat on Twitch. Yeah, Yeah, he did. There was definitely some complaining about SJWs. Okay, that makes sense now, Iron Orchids. Ostenox had a good... I mean, maybe Hassan will go over this, right? Ostenox is Hassan's editor, right? So... We're the real heroes. Oh, kick the messaging app. Okay, yeah, I know what you're talking about. He got mad and went off on me on Patreon. Wait, Saberspark did? Really? Oh my god. No, I've heard of other content creators doing that. But hey, what's up, Campos? Good to see you. Meow. Saberspark is a chud. Yeah, that I didn't know either. I actually... Look, I joked on Twitter about canceling Saberspark. I wasn't serious. I thought that he was just edgy and didn't realize how bad PSG... got, because there's only one episode where, like, it's just like there's, you know, one of the worst racist images I've seen in anime, and anime is known for containing like racist caricatures, right? And one of the worst examples I saw of that was in one episode of Penny Sucking and Garter Belt. Now the other, kind of yikes issue is sort of the blaxploitation nature of one of the characters on the show, but you don't see anything as bad. Like that episode was just like a complete dumpster fire. But I guess even I wasn't aware of how bad Saber. Yeah, I didn't know about Saber Spark being a chud. That's news to me. It makes sense though. Yeah, no wonder he didn't reply to my thread. Right? He's probably took one look at my account and blocked me or something. YouTuber with disproportionate interests in children's cartoons seems to be a warning flag. It could be. You could be right about that. I haven't thought about Saber Spark in years. I never heard of him until fairly recently, actually. So I wasn't aware of him. And Jordan and Fringe seem okay so far. We're safe for now. Yeah, so we'll just go ahead and watch this. I'm guessing Hassan is going to go over the Austinox thread. It would be pretty weird if he didn't. I didn't even think he still
get mad at this anymore. Like I feel like this is so outdated, so hacky transphobia. It's like the helicopter meme.
He was late to the party.
You know what I mean?
He was late to the helicopter meme party. Yeah.
It's so played out that even trans people are like, dude, get new transphobia.
Get better material.
Like it's just so weak. It's like there are only two genders. It's like, okay, bro. Well, I mean, it's what you're saying is literally unscientific, but fine. Like, sure, who cares? It's actually so funny. He said this shit confidently. He really thought he was owning the libs with this 2014 ass discourse. Yeah, exactly, bro.
Okay, no, we can't.
Keep telling you guys,
I can't let that
you
play.
have to jerk off, dude. It's very clear.
So wait, he's no fap. I didn't know that. He's actually no fap.
That no fap.
Even Keemstar is over that joke.
Fap is so bad for you. Like it's so physically bad for you.
Like, look, you're talking about a mindset that was made fun of in Doctor Strangelove, right? If you're no fap, there's a character, the most ridiculous character, I'd say, one of the two most ridiculous characters in a movie filled with ridiculous characters. It's making fun of no fap people. It's making fun of men who guard their sacred manly essences, right?
Doing Ted Cruz bits, bro. My pronouns are kiss my ass. Even Republicans.
I think Keemstar said, bro, forgot to count helicopters. I swear trans folks have two jokes.
Even Ted Cruz doesn't say there are only two genders. They've moved on. They leveled up their transphobia game to a...
Yeah, look, he's not even on What Is a Woman yet, right?
Another equally hacky bit where they say, my pronouns are suck my dick. My pronouns are kiss my ass. You know what I mean? Even they have moved on, and Adin Ross is doing hacky ass 2014 ass I will stand strong. His ass thought he was getting crucified, like the Ricky Gervais meme. He was like, oh, I said it, there are only two genders. Come on, take me, woke culture, take me, SJWs. Yeah, once again, I'm being attacked for having good ideas. He explained the tweet and is so dumb. I love that. My pronouns are American.
He explained the tweet. Adin Ross calls to cancel. Let's cancel culture. The dude unironically said, let's cancel culture. This comes after receiving backlash for tweeting, there are only two genders.
Yeah. He's trying to stay relevant by being transphobic. I mean, it will happen. It's bottom of the...
I said that he was trending this morning, right? He stopped trending pretty quickly. So yeah, maybe it is a challenge for him to stay relevant, especially right? Twitch was his main platform. I don't see him really making much hay on Kick, right? Yeah, he apologized to his chat for thinking about, oh no. He's really rocking that nofap. That seems old school to me. I mean, I guess it's not. I guess the nofap movement has not shrunk, has not been laughed off the stage. It has grown. unfortunately. Graham Linehan is somehow more creative in his transphobia. He should switch over to... Steven Crowder is more creative in his transphobia than Adin Ross, right? Switch over to exercising poop demons out of people. Well, I mean, you know, Xander Hall could help with that, right? Femboy has been trending for 2 straight days. Yeah, Adin Ross is unironically getting ate by femboys, right? That's what's going on. Men will preserve their vital essences before going to therapy. Hell yeah.
Barrel, because like you're signaling to all the dumbasses. So of course this got 475,000 likes because every dumbass was like, yeah, there are only 2 genders. Well, to be fair, half the time, you know, his entire audience is like 12 years old. So like obviously from their understanding of like gender, they definitely think that there are only 2 genders. So like that makes sense. So
there's the Austin Ox thread. Yeah, it doesn't look like there's very many videos here.
His fan base is like all 12 years old.
That's what I'm kind of trying to avoid. That's why I'm watching Hasanabi, right? Because I know that if I type in Adin Ross on Twitter and start to scroll down, I'm going to get hit with a video. And I don't think I'd get banned for that, right? You know, Twitch is very lenient in terms of accidentally, you know, scrolling past a banned person. Like, they usually don't ban people for that. I just don't want to take the chance.
Do they know about gender? You know what I mean?
Hassan is streaming from Japan. Yeah, from as far as I understand.
So that's why.
I'll take femboys over Adin Ross any day. Me too.
Full-blown conservative grifter. Yeah, I know. I actually called this perfectly from... I said, I'm worried about the direction that you're heading in. I'm worried about what's going on.
You know what? You kind of called this, Hassan, and you kind of missed it, right? Like, Hassan thought that he was drifting. I feel like Hassan didn't actually predict this. This is full on, like you said, right-wing grifter, right? This isn't just edgelord. This isn't just edgelord shit, right? This is, you know, like, he's veering into Nick Fuentes territory, all right? I don't think that Hassan called that. I think that even Hassan, like, I don't know why he's not copping to it, but like what I'm saying is that, like, you know, Hassan was right in terms of the direction. Hassan was wrong in terms of the speed of that pivot, right? It's much faster than Hassan predicted.
I fear that if you keep doing this, you're going to become this like weird right-wing guy, and I don't like that. Like, you should take care of yourself and make sure that you don't fall into this trap. And then he got so mad at me. He was like, oh, what the he says I'm a rightist. I'm like, bro, you're doing this Nico shit. And I said this like, what, 4 months ago? And he literally is doing Nico shit. Look at this. Look. Terms that Adin will understand.
Okay, so maybe he's saying that he had conversations with... Maybe he just wasn't publicly saying that. He's talking about conversations he had with Adin in private. So maybe in his conversations, he was expressing some concern. I agree a little with what that guy said, though. Even if I was a transphobe, I wouldn't act like it or tell anyone because I'm afraid of the douches I'd attract. Stupid little incels. Who needs those follows?
If he keeps going down this pipeline,
oh, with what Hassan was saying,
like
yeah,
another Sneeko. He's just gonna be banned from everything. He just needs to save himself. It's good.
Oh, okay. I mean, I guess he said it. I swear to God, I heard Hassan say that like people asked him about this, and I thought I heard Hassan say it's not quite like that. Like, I feel like Hassan's chat called this more than Hassan did. But here, yeah, indeed, here's a clip of Hassan, yeah, making the right call. So I mean, I don't know. Maybe Hassan's just all over the map. Hassan and Ethan Klein were trying to save Adin Ross for a little while. When Vaush goes full, all right, what do you think? He'll announce it or just slide in there quietly? I mean, he's already laying the groundwork, to be honest.
That he's working out. It's good that he's like bettering.
Especially in that video we watched today. Like, that was wild.
These are concepts that I'm on board with, but this like no fap.
If you haven't seen that, make sure to check out, like, again, I apologize, chat. I hate when this does this, right? But there are 2 VODs for today. There's a VOD from the earlier part of the stream, and there's a VOD from the later part of the stream. And I can't help it. My internet just, like, crapped out, and that's what happens. And I hate it because I know it's really confusing, and I don't want to ask Vamp to make 2 different thumbnails to disambiguate and be like part 1, part 2. And I know whenever it gets split up, I get, like, less views on both of them, right? But, yeah, do go back and check that first that first live stream for the Still Mad thumbnail, right? That live stream. You'll want to check that out because that's Vaush going kind of mask off in terms of, you know, transphobia. I don't know how else to say it. It's part of streamer life. Is it really? I feel like I'm the only one with this bad of internet, but thank you, Moss Burbs.
Right-wing shit is not good. It's rotting his goddamn brain even further when it was already a crevice for the most part, you know? And it's sad to see him fall from LG ally to a right-winger. Yeah, he used to be a fan of the LG community. So you tell the future and live in the future? I know. It's so annoying because I'm so right all the goddamn time, and then everyone yells at me for being right, only to prove me right. And then because I'm right and they don't want to admit that I was right, they turn around and they get even more mad. You know what I mean? Like, they're like, all right, you know what? Maybe next time we'll...
I swear to God, I heard him say that he didn't think that Adin Ross was going downhill that quickly.
Listen to what you have to say. Nope, not going to do that. Instead, I'm just going to be more committed to hating you, even if I agree with you.
A bunch of shit are, let's say, true or not true, but who gives a live and let live, you moron. That's like going to a spot, like going to a...
Some SoCal streamers said they got hit with storms lately. Yeah, I could imagine that somebody living in SoCal might have gotten hit with some storms lately that might be interrupting their not to, like, you know, not to out myself as far as where I live, but
a church full of people that are praying, be like, God isn't real. God, no.
Yo, I mean, has any, like, I don't know, like, nobody, don't say where you live in chat, okay, right? I'm gonna try to do the same thing. But has anybody noticed, like, Southern California weather has been super weird this year? Like, snow, you know, what the hell?
Gods are here, lol. What are you guys doing it? Gods aren't there, lol. And then you say, am I wrong? Am I wrong though? Dude. Shut up, bitch. Just, like...
This is an incredibly solid way of describing it to mostly apathetic or even like antagonistic people towards trans existence. Yeah, it's true. It's very good. It's a very good take. Like, not only is Adin Ross incorrect about his...
I can't even tell what XQC's getting at half the time. Wait, what did he say?
Am I wrong? But who gives live and let live, you moron.
Live and let live, you effing moron.
It's like going
okay.
to a spot, like going to a church full of people that are praying, be like, God isn't real. God, no gods are here, lol. What are you guys doing it? Gods aren't there, lol. And then you say,
I don't know if that's a good take or not, Hassan. Right? Are we equating the idea of the existence of God to the existence of more than two, to you know, anything besides two genders, right? Do you see that? Yeah, I don't know about this, Hassan.
Am I wrong? Am I wrong though? Dude.
Like, I mean, I get his point about don't be a dick. I get his point about live and let live. I just don't like equivocating those two things, right?
Dude.
I don't think that me believing that, like, male and female gender are not the only two genders out there, you know, the only two genders that could possibly exist. I don't think that's like somebody being like, there is a God and his only begotten son walked on the water so that we might live forever. If you just drink his blood and eat his body, you will live forever too.
Shut up, bitch. Just...
Oh my God, I'm doing a Hassan, aren't I?
This is an incredibly solid way of describing it to mostly apathetic or even like antagonistic people.
Is it because Adin uses religion as his foundation? Maybe. I don't even know about Adin's, like, I don't know about Adin's view on religion.
People towards trans existence.
Adin is just a ridiculous man as far as I can tell. The crackers turn into his body. Just eat it.
Yeah, it's true. It's very good. It's a very good take. Like, not only is Adin Ross incorrect...
The subtle implication being that Jesus was somehow white.
About his assessment on gender. Well, he's incorrect on a lot of things. But you're also like...
Hassan is... Oh, yeah, better than Vaush.
Even if he was...
It's a pretty low bar, but
right,
yeah.
It's like, which he isn't. But even if he was right, like, what are you doing? Like, what's it to you, bitch?
The way I interpreted it was, don't go preaching to others Don't spread hateful rhetoric if you have those thoughts.
Let people live.
I mean, it's fine. I'm not really. I just don't. I don't think it's a great take. It's I guess XQC that's kind of a low bar too as far as takes go. So
An asshole.
For XQC, it's probably a good take.
Listen, you can't be talking shit about trans people when you are, instead of
other than Hassan being messy, what has he done?
Doing gender affirming care.
What has he done bad, or what has he done in general, or like what has he done good?
Done Andrew Tate affirming care. Okay, you literally changed your gender to Andrew Tate, and you're out here talking about like trans people doing shit. Trans people just want to exist. Okay, you're doing.
Explains transubstantiation to chat. You're welcome.
HRT2, you're doing TRT, you're doing the Andrew Tate. You're doing a
Tate replacement therapy?
Transition to being Andrew Tate. Like, so shut up. Yeah.
Tate retention therapy? What is TRT?
On God, my pronouns are Andrew Tate.
The Laval W will be rescinded.
Pronouns are top G. Yeah, it's
bad take can do a lot when you have so many followers.
Would you call a furry whose persona is a bald person? I
don't know. Maybe fuck up a whole bunch of and be a whiny effing baby and oh well no. I was trying to interrogate what the question was about. Like
called them Adin Ross.
Testosterone replacement therapy.
That's what I would call them. Yeah, he's doing TRT, Tate replacement therapy.
Tate replacement therapy.
Adin explains gender. Dude, that's hilarious.
Because I've spoken to people who are gay and trans in the past.
That's Adin, isn't it? That's Adin. Okay, we're gonna skip Adin. We're gonna skip right over Adin.
Politics.
Wait, how is Hassan watching Adin? Why am I the only one on Twitch who tries to avoid showing you banned people? I swear to God, like everybody else just doesn't care. I see it all the time with other streamers. We won't mention which streamers because that would be dry snitching. But it's like everybody. It's like everybody. I feel like nobody worries about this. Like it's only me because I know I have so many enemies out there. There's so many sussy bakas out there right now.
No matter how hateful he tries to be, it's like so obviously.
Don't know that much about Hassan. He has too many followers to be on my radar. I know a little.
A LARP. You know what I mean? It's not like Matt Walsh. Like Matt Walsh would like probably kill a trans person if he had the opportunity. He's like a horrifying, awful. I mean, he's not like a scary person.
I mean, I won't disagree. Kira can't show them. Oh yeah. So yeah, that's probably what it is. No tater chick. No tattler chick. Nice. No snitch chick. I don't know. I don't follow really big streamers because their chats are moving too fast. Yeah, that's understandable. Recently, Hassan said he was being bullied by trans people for wanting to play the Hog Legacy. Oh my God.
But he's like legitimately like a hateful dweeb.
Hassan is wrong. Matt, wait, did Hassan say that he's not scary? No, Walsh is a coward. He wouldn't do it. Well, yeah, he would get us, unalived if he could.
Adin Ross is like, oh, I'm going to try to do this thing because I think people will pay attention to me. You know what I mean? Can you address Adin's chaser allegations? Wait, what? What is this? Someone
really
get Adin before I drop receipts from multiple people of him trying to fuck up on trans women. And don't come here saying this isn't it. Bitch, I have no sympathy for anybody invalidating someone's gender. With all due respect, you and him. So he's a chaser. There you go. That makes a lot of sense.
Matt is a stochastic boy, but he lets others do his dirty work. True. Good point.
Oh, the comment above it. Everyone in the industry knows you're a chaser, lol. He's a lot of dolls. Trans community makes up 1% of the world, so word gets around fast on who the doll chasers are, lol. This makes so much sense. If Adin Ross being a chaser makes the most sense, though. If anything, this makes it seem more like he would have transphobic takes. Like they fetishize trans women. Like they don't treat trans women as women, but like an object of desire, and they fetishize them. And oftentimes people like Alex Jones, for example, like they will feel
also Hassan has been effing up trans issues while acting like an authority.
Conflicted about they feel conflicted about their sexual desires because like on the one hand they're transphobic, on the other they want to like they fetishize and want to trans women. So then they're like, oh, am I gay? Instead of like recognizing that trans women are women, that guilt turns them into thinking like, oh, actually, this kind of makes me gay. And for that reason, like, I hate you. You're bad. You're wrong. You're evil. You've like corrupted my mind. That's what it is. It's very weird. It's a very weird concept. It's just like,
well, yeah. And also like, you know, being openly anti-trans is a way that they deflect, right?
But it's like anything else. It's
like their mindset is that if they are like, you know, oh yeah, trans women are women, trans people are cool, then more people are more likely to guess that they're a chaser. Whereas if they say stuff like there are only two genders, then they think that people will be like, oh yeah, no, there's no way that Adin Ross would be a chaser because he's, you know, openly anti-trans.
You could just be comfortable in your sexuality.
Silenced right now. That's why you guys all need to. Man, this tweet was not intended to hurt anybody except for the people that try to put others down and the people that just try to cancel people. This is
Hassan. Do you hear an echo of your Hogwarts Legacy, like, rhetoric in this? Look, I'm not against trans people, but the trans people that go around and try to bully streamers and try to make them not play this game, like, right, you're doing yourself a disservice. Nobody likes you. Shut the fuck up.
It's intended to you guys, man. This
like I obviously you're not as bad as Adin. You're not anywhere close to as bad as Adin, right? But just that little parallel there should like upset you. I really wish that they'd see themselves, these little glimmers of themselves, their own shitty rhetoric in the obvious fucking shithead transphobe, right? A cis nurse only hearing what popular trans people with big platforms have to say. Cis curse of only, sorry, I thought you said cis nurse. Absolutely, and Hassan fubbling through this doesn't really feel super helpful either. He doesn't hear anything. He has zero self-awareness or accountability.
This genuinely differentiates him from like the average piece of shit right-wing conservative, because he's still like, yeah, I'm not trying to upset anybody. Like, it's like, dude, just dumbass. You're not supposed to say that. You're supposed to be like, no, I was right. And everyone is crazy. And that's why they're wrong. What is this like? He's not even doing a good job of like trying to describe.
I feel like it's a little late for him to be playing both sides. Yeah.
Describe what he was saying in like a snarky way. You know what I mean? He doesn't know.
It's a little late.
He doesn't know the right-wing terms to use. That's my point. Like he does not have well flushed out, legitimately held beliefs. No secrets between us. Anyway, let's finish this.
Oh,
this
okay.
Is literally why I did it.
Maybe that's what Hassan was saying, right? Maybe that's what I heard Hassan saying. Yeah, we're not watching Adin. Like, he's covering Adin's face with his, what? I don't understand. Does this save him? Does this protect him?
Of unmoderated hateful conduct. According to sources on February 24th, Adin was streaming on Twitch when he showed chat from his Kick channel.
Okay. Oh, okay. So this is fairly recently. I didn't realize that Adin was still streaming like this recently on Twitch, right? That's a new one. That's a surprise to me.
For over 20 minutes. The chat being displayed had included multiple racist and anti-Semitic comments. Oh, there you go. So it was for a totally valid reason. I mean, it was for a million valid reasons, by the way. He fucked it up. It was green. Oh, yeah, he did. He did have green hair. Fucking SJW. Not only did he have green hair, but hold on. This is so funny. Not only did he have green hair, he's currently standing next to a non-binary person. Literally, not only does this dumbass have green hair here, he's standing next to Lil Uzi Vert, who goes by they, them pronouns and is non-binary. The fuck happened?
Okay, chat. Look, I know I've got FD Signifier and Soul Bunny on the agenda as the next thing. I just realized that I'm not going to give you my best react if I do it right now. My brain is kind of just messed up, partly from having to deal with Jeffree Star and his bullshit yesterday, and partly from this really cool movie I saw last night that kind of like blew my mind. I need to get a good night's sleep. I'm going to be streamed tomorrow. Okay, that's what I'm doing to make this up to you. Okay, you're getting an extra day from me this week. Tomorrow we're going to be streaming. Right now we're going to hit Evie Lupine with a raid. Evie Lupine is playing Cyberpunk, playing towards the end game of it. So I don't know, spoilers maybe? I did so good today. Thank you. I'm really sorry about that. Also, HelloFresh, right? That's my new sponsor. Check them out if you want. I got a 60% off code for you. I'm going to be cooking this tomorrow. All right. So we'll make it fun, right? I don't want it to be like, you know, me trying to sell you stuff. I just want me to, you know, I'll show you what it's like to cook a HelloFresh meal and we can have fun in the kitchen. Like, right. So instead of it being like me just like giving you a button, because I'm no good at advertising. So anyway, thank you, everybody. Say hi to Evie Lupine for me. Thank you for the follow, Violet Roz. Yeah, welcome to the stream. You missed my stream today. I'm sorry, Woody Red. Oh my God, so many people. Hey, Bodies. God, I feel like everybody just came in at the last minute. Maybe I should have kept streaming. I couldn't chat. I don't want to do that. Okay, so you're only hearing this if you're a VOD, if you're watching me on the VOD, or you're watching me on YouTube, right? But I like to give you my best, and this is not it right now. I feel like I look like shit. I am not giving good analysis. I am a little bit messed up. You know, it was also, I wanted to hit Evie Lupine. Evie Lupine is the content creator I've enjoyed for a long time. I never get to raid Evie Lupine, so that's our raid for Evie Lupine. Anyway, catch me tomorrow. I'm going to try to stream early, and I'm going to try to end early. We're probably going to raid Polly people. Shh, don't tell Polly, though. Don't tell Polly. Okay. Anyway, 30 raiders into Evie Lupine's stream. Should be pretty cool. Check this out a little bit. Go follow Evie Lupine on YouTube
but everyone
and
else,
on Twitch.
Any other car on the road, fair game. This car is literally the Batmobile. I'm not even kidding you. It's basically like the context in which you find it in like a watery cave in like a storage unit is. I'm pretty sure they're
not gonna steal too much content, so I'm gonna hit stop on there. But yeah, check me out tomorrow. We're gonna do FD Signifier and Soul Bunny. We're gonna watch Vaush have an argument with somebody in his community that's actually kind of based on that's pushing back on some of the worst takes that Vaush has. So that should be interesting. And we're also gonna do some cooking in the kitchen with HelloFresh. 60% off. Check out my my link. It should be in my about page. I'll try to put it in more things so that you can find. I'm gonna be better at that. I'm just like, I'm so fried. Anyway, meow.